Hey guys, if you enjoy the Drunken Peasants podcast, be sure to go to audibletrial.com/Drunken Peasants to get your free audio book. They have books like The God Delusion or Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. Also, 150,000 other titles to choose from. So be sure to check that out. It supports the show and you get a free audiobook in the process. So what the fuck do you have to lose? Tacos.
Coming to you live from the frigid armpit of America, this is the Drunken Peasants podcast with Ben and TJ, bringing you opinions
I want to marry a guy and a babe.
Fuck it! Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
What the fuck are you talking about, atheist? It's okay.
You're nothing, TJ. You're garbage.
I just want to be liked.
You're garbage.
And now, here are your hosts, Ben and TJ.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Welcome to the Drunken Peasants podcast, where we DP the fuck out of the news.
Ben's sick.
Yeah, so Scotty.
Yeah, and I was too. Well, I still kind of am, but not as much.
Was that like from when we all made out with each other?
Yeah, that was from the orgy night.
Fuck. They
Drunken
warned us.
Peasants orgy night.
Jesus. You know, you think things are safe. You think, everything will be fine, but then
Yeah,
you get sick.
What is this? The 80s? We've all got AIDS now.
Everyone has AIDS. AIDS. AIDS.
AIDS.
Scotty's not here because he's drinking cough syrup like a fucking wino. Oh, why, thank you.
Yeah, fuck you, Ben. Piece of shit. Oh yeah, this was great.
Anyway. You do?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, so Scotty's going to be on camera in a second, and he has an announcement.
It's very important.
Your mic is on.
I think we should admit this now.
Yeah.
We're the Illuminati podcast.
We are the Illuminati.
You know, the Vigilant Christian has been right all along. We don't know how he figured it out. He's a smart guy. And this is my Illuminati shirt, to represent the Illuminati, which we now admit we're a part of the Illuminati.
Strangely enough, I was reading some stuff that Gail Cord Schuler wrote. And she actually said that the Illuminati is like a branch of the Jesuits.
Just a mere branch.
Oh no,
Yes.
we're not part of the Jesuits, but we are the Illuminati.
Yeah, Gail Cord Schuler is wrong. The Vigilant Christian is right.
He's
though.
right though. We figured out. We might as well just admit it to everyone now. So
Satan, Illuminati.
Actually, TJ saw this shirt and he's like, "That's the Illuminati shirt. You should wear that on the next show." And I was like, "I'm buying this shirt just to do that, to fucking to troll the Vigilant Christian. Like, we're part of the Illuminati."
It's like our goal is eventually to be in one of the Vigilant Christians videos, like, hi, this is Vigilant Christian Mario, and in this edition of Illuminati Exposed, I'll cover the Drunken Peasants.
That's why I just want to do it. Just say we're part of the Illuminati, just to see what he says. Like, what could he say now? It's like, I'll just confront him. Like, yeah, we're part of it. What are you gonna do, bitch?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
We control everything.
Yeah, we control everything.
Everything.
Now we're gonna control you, Mario. We coming for you, Mario.
Hey, Scotty.
Fuck my big black ass.
It's good to have you back,
But
Scott.
he doesn't have a black ass. He has a white ass.
He has one literally right in front of him.
That's not really an ass though.
But it's his. It's okay.
It's a fake black ass.
Does it shit?
Yeah, does it shit? Is it?
Not literally, but he explained how you can clean it, and it's kind of like it's shitting when you have to clean it.
I don't know about that.
I don't believe that.
Hey, TJ, do you remember? I don't think it was the last episode. I think it might have been 2 episodes ago. We covered this big like muscle bodybuilder guy that kind of looked like Ryback, and he was talking about transgenderism and all that. Do you remember that?
Ryback. No.
Okay, well, we made a video about him, and he made a response video. So
all right. So what? Oh, we're watching it.
Yeah, he's some kind of bodybuilder.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha
Oh, I remember.
And apparently I made it onto
Apparently.
a much larger YouTube channel called Amazing Atheist.
No.
Now, I'm not familiar at all with this channel. Or
Drunken Peasants, bitch.
But it was on your
It
channel.
was on your channel, though,
Right.
so...
Yeah.
In all fairness to him.
What channel are we doing this show on? I'm not even aware.
Amazing
So
Atheist.
this is the Amazing Atheist channel.
Yeah, and this may be the last one
Yeah,
on the Amazing
we
Atheist
should
channel.
be back to the DP channel by Wednesday, I think.
So hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, so this guy was saying some shit.
He doesn't look that much like RyBatman. He looks a little like RyBatman.
He looks like RyBatman with glasses. He does.
In this video, he claims
He's not as big.
He's
though.
not big enough.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. In this video, he claims to be about the same size as Ryback because we said he.
No, he's small.
No,
Yeah.
I mean
Ryback is. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's different because he's sitting down and shit. But I mean, like, if he was Ryback, like, he wouldn't even have a neck. I mean, like, the muscles would just connect directly below the ears.
Yeah, I mean, like, compare yourself to Ryback. I mean, Ryback is a total steroidal fucking dude. Yeah. I mean, this dude does not look that steroidal compared to someone like that. Even he doesn't even
Scotty,
look.
you cannot say Ryback is on steroids. The WWE stringently tests to prevent.
I mean,
such
this guy doesn't
things.
even look as big as Cena, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah.
Well, who could be as big as Cena?
So he's gonna pick apart everything that we said about
shit.
him.
Oh, okay, sure.
The show that they run, because I don't really watch atheist stuff. You guys know me. My stance on religion and spirituality is that I am an open-minded skeptic.
Okay.
He's an open-minded skeptic.
I'm an open-minded skeptic, so you know I don't watch this stuff. It's like, what does that make sense? I'm open-minded, so I totally ignore this entire realm of thought. Whatever.
I accept the possibility, but I'm very skeptical, which is oftentimes my stance on a lot of issues, which is my stance on the other issue that they brought up, which ironically enough has nothing to do with my normal channel. It's from the Ask Jason channel, where you guys know I cover philosophy, my crazy political views, and just give people general advice who ask me a lot of questions. And that's what I do there. And sorry, the cats are going to be
Hey, someone actually entertaining has arrived.
Right.
Neat.
I like the cat.
TJ said he felt sorry for his cats the last time.
I do.
And he does address that. So.
Well, you know, I don't feel that sorry for the cat, I guess, because I think it's using his head as a scratching post.
The cat looks pretty happy. He's jumping around. I don't know. Do you think it's kind of a cheap shot to say his cats are not happy?
Well, he doesn't have a life, so he has a lot of time to
He brings up
dedicate to his
something weird
cats,
about the cats, but we'll address that when he gets to it.
Okay, let's see.
What do you?
And of course, as they said in the
is he
video,
fucking
I'm
the
an
cats?
awful person, and these poor
Are you
cats
sure?
are really unfortunate to be stuck with me.
I agree.
Even though we imported them and adopted them from the streets of Egypt, all three of our cats.
So he adopted the cats from Egypt.
Man, TJ,
and
look like a dick about
Streets of
that.
Egypt.
And it's like okay.
Hey,
so,
cats weren't cats at one time revered as gods in Egypt? They probably want to be where they're gods.
well, why doesn't he adopt cats? I'm sure there's homeless cats.
Yeah, I mean,
where he
there's homeless cats all over the place. So what's the fucking? Why am I supposed to be more impressed that they're from Egypt?
Right.
You know, like
Maybe he really just loves Egyptian cats, TJ.
I don't.
What's wrong with cats, TJ?
I don't see.
TJ's anti-cat.
I don't see why the Egyptian thing matters. You know, like. You know, it's just as good to adopt a cat from a fucking shelter in, like, Boston as it is from Egypt.
I have no idea what the reasoning would be.
Is it like when Angelina Jolie adopts kids from Africa? That's like better than adopting kids from.
I guess
the
so.
United States?
You know,
Yeah.
I guess if it's like a foreign exotic thing, then you have like an even greater moral superiority.
But that's why it's been made fun of so much. It's like, okay, there's so many kids in U.S. orphanages. Why not just get
Who
one
gives
there?
a fuck about them?
I know,
When
it's
you can
like-
have some exotic foreign kid.
I mean, like, look, that's their choice. It's their life. But,
Right.
I mean, obviously.
So this guy's like the poor man's Angelina Jolie. he can't afford the kids, so he just adopts
got
cats
cats.
from other countries.
Yeah.
Were street cats in Egypt, which we adopted to give them a better life over here, where they would never have been adopted in their home country.
Okay.
But,
that's his reason, I guess, is that they've never.
What
would've
about
been
the ones that
adopted.
wouldn't have been adopted in your home country? Now,
Right. I mean,
That's okay then.
there's tons of
Fuck
strays
'em.
that are never going to be adopted in the U.S. are going to be put down. Like tons of cats are put down every year, by American shelters.
I mean,
so.
to me, it's just splitting hairs. Like, I mean, I don't really care, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that he adopted cats. I just don't see why it's better that he adopted cats
No,
from
I don't think it's better.
the other side of the world.
I don't think it's
know.
better. It's just
I don't
one of
even
those
I don't
things.
even think it's cool that he adopted them because I think the cats would have been better off homeless.
That's what you said.
If Ladies have to put
I don't
up
agree
with
with
me,
that.
Yeah, I
of
don't
course, as
agree.
they said in the video.
Oh, you
If
puss
you guys want
bags.
to check it out, it's down below. It was my video on transgender, and I'll link the original video because these guys, they just took snippets of my video. They didn't really...
No, actually,
What?
we played your video and stopped it to comment. We
Right.
didn't-
We don't do the snippet thing. We're too lazy.
Yeah, that takes too much
Nah,
time.
it was not taken out of context. I really doubt that. I mean, I wasn't here, but I really doubt you guys did that. Where
Right.
you just took like the cherry pick things he said and you're like, oh, he's wrong. See,
We never do that. We literally, I mean, I guess sometimes we do skip around manually if we're just like,
Very rarely.
if it's a really long video, it's like 40 minutes,
and we're like
or
just
something.
bored as fuck, and they're just going over the same point over and over again. But that's about the only time, and I don't think we
Sure.
did that with him. I think we just played a clip, and we stopped it a few times to comment, but we definitely didn't cut it up.
take the video in its entirety. And so let's address the points that they made. Now, they didn't really create proper arguments towards anything I said. They stuck with most
Wait,
of the ad
hold on.
hominems,
So
let's address-
hold on. How are you like the arbiter of proper argument?
Yeah, I don't really like that he's labeling something a proper
Are you
argument.
like? Is he like a fucking logician or something? I mean, does he moderate debates for a living? Is he an expert on logical fallacies?
Yeah, I mean, I really doubt you guys were on here going like, and you know, I just know that it's, you know, this is the, I really don't know what you guys were arguing with, so I guess I probably shouldn't comment. But if I'm just taking a stab in the dark, I'm thinking he was probably against transgendered people.
Yes.
Well, he said that they should all be rounded up into concentration camps and killed.
I don't think he said that.
He did.
No, he didn't.
he totally said. Well, I might be slightly misremembering. See, that's an ad hominem.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Good one.
Just for an example.
the ad hominems. We addressed the first one with the cats. I'm clearly a terrible person, even before the person saw my video.
Yeah.
I guess they based it upon my Batman
I want to
shirt.
just say I have that same Batman shirt. So
Well, he's going to talk about how he's more qualified to be Batman than we are.
I don't. No existent person is qualified to be Batman.
Well, hold on.
Is he
hear him out,
is he a
TJ.
billionaire?
Hear him out, TJ.
Which they made quite a big
Is he making
deal
the-
about.
that
Hold on.
doesn't
But as
look
far
like
as the
Wayne
cats,
Manor behind him, I'm just saying.
Let's address that ad hominem. The cats aren't unlucky to be here stuck with me. They would have had a terrible life. They might have starved to death or
Who
been dead, poisoned.
cares?
Things that happened to the
Who
street cats down in
cares?
Egypt.
Okay,
Who cares?
Look, you know, that's great. You did it, you know.
Are we still
I mean,
fucking talking about
that's
these
fine,
cats?
but that's not really the thrust of what was going on here. It's like, you know, I understand he might feel offended that you guys are like, you know, or TJ said like, fuck you, I don't give a shit, you adopted these cats, they're better off homeless. You know, that's just TJ. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like, good on you, that's fine, but that has nothing to do with the transgender issue at all.
It has nothing to do with anything.
It's
I
a
can't
total
believe-
aside.
He's just yammering on about fucking cats because of I made a fucking brief comment like, oh, that poor cat. I mean, it was a joke. It was a fucking
That's what
joke.
I'm saying. It's a total aside anyway.
Why is he fucking spending so much time
And then-
refuting something that was obviously not meant to be taken seriously in the fucking
I don't
first
think
place?
I don't think he took it that way.
And then we
it's
joked
pretty
around
obvious.
about his Batman shirt, and he's going to address that too.
Here they get fresh food. I actually cook for the cats.
He cooks for
believe it or
them.
not.
I don't
actually
give a
cook
fuck
fresh
what
fish
you-
and chicken
oh
for
my
these
God,
cats.
no
They
one
really
cares
get
about your
real
stupid
food,
fucking
not even
cats.
always as much cat
Well,
food
he
as a lot of
does.
people's cats get. They're very well taken care of, very well loved.
Okay,
we acknowledge
what
that.
else
You're,
was there
all
next?
right,
concede.
so just
I
we concede.
concede.
You're as far
You're-
as cats
yeah.
go. You're the best,
Yeah,
man.
we concede on that point. You love cats. You take care of them. Whatever. That's
Good.
fine.
Everyone's very happy that
Yeah.
you're doing that, buddy.
Point. They addressed the Batman shirt that I had on at the time. Well, I think I am more suited to wear a Batman shirt than any of those guys.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't on the show, but I mean, why can't? How you? What do you mean better suited?
Here,
It's just
here
the
you go. He's going to explain. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
okay.
I have black belts in more than one style of martial arts.
That's
Batman
good.
was
Good
a
for
martial
you.
artist.
All right.
I lift weight.
If you're qualified enough to be fucking Batman, then why are you not like the UFC champion right now? If you're like such a good fighter.
Okay, Batman
That
has
is a good
literally
point.
Batman
Yeah.
has literally fought and won with no superpowers against like super powerful entities that are like beyond even normal superheroes. So if he's that level of skill where he deserves to wear a Batman shirt, I mean anyone can wear a Batman
Right,
shirt. It
I have
doesn't
one.
fucking matter. I mean no one like wearing a Batman shirt is not a declaration of I am as tough as Batman.
Yeah, it's a declaration of I like this.
It's like I like Batman. That's all that says. Or maybe it doesn't even say that. Maybe it just says I like this Batman shirt.
yeah, it's like you wear an Air Force shirt. And it's like, are you an Air Force pilot? No, my dad was. Fuck you. You're not allowed to wear that because you didn't actually fly.
I have black
You
belts
know,
in
I mean,
every
come
martial
on.
art known to man. And I lift weights. In fact, I can lift a 20-ton car over my head and throw it 15 fucking yards.
And compete in strength sports. So I'm a pretty strong guy. And I think Batman would agree with a lot of my views on
That's just total
citizens.
speculation.
I think this totally fictional character would agree with
that's
all
just-
my views.
That's total
What is that?
speculation.
So first of all, who cares? I mean, like, what does that mean?
But even if he does, it's like that's
Batman
it's a fictional
would,
character.
I've never like we're literally arguing with a grown man who is telling us Batman would agree with me. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Who cares? Like, who gives a shit?
You better watch out. He has a fucking black belt, dude. He's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
break your
well I
neck.
think the Green Lantern would agree with me.
He's gonna beat the
And I'm
shit
wearing
out of
a
you,
Green Lantern shirt.
I think you're more qualified to be the Green Lantern because
Pete,
you
TJ.
wear rings
TJ.
and
Yeah, and I have, the Green Lantern's patterns are derived from imagination, and I'm more imaginative than you. I have black belts in imagination.
You better be careful, TJ. This guy's gonna come after you. You insulted his cats. Now you insulted him.
it's funny because
And he's as strong as Batman, TJ. You're fucked, man. TJ's gonna be like walking out one night, taking the trash out or something. Guy's gonna fucking fall from the shadows and be like, "Fuck you, TJ."
defending themselves.
I can see it happening.
I mean, if anything, Batman has vigilante views that are far more extreme than even my own. So we can settle that. What else did they mention? Oh, they said I was Ryback, but smaller than Ryback. Well, I'm only smaller than Ryback because I'm 6 inches shorter than him. In terms of lean body mass versus height, I'm actually just as big as Ryback. And if you guys go watch any of my training clips I've done,
No.
You're not as big as Ryback.
You're not as big as Ryback.
I mean, like,
I can
if you wanna
plainly see that you're not
If
as
you
big
want
as
to say,
Ryback.
oh, if you take this ratio and you look at this, it's like, but we're talking about the overall size. If Ryback is like 6'3" or 6 whatever he is, and you're like 5'8", you
No,
can't say,
but even
I'm
if-
as big as Ryback.
even if they
You're
were
not.
even if they were the same height, just looking at the build, he's not as big as Ryback. He's not even fucking close.
I don't know why you'd make that claim. I mean, like, you're not as big as him. We're just saying comparing you and him right now, not factoring other things in. Just you stand next to him, that's it. Or just get on a scale, whatever. You're not the same.
this month, where you can see me standing up, walking around better, you'll get a better idea of that.
Okay.
So did they really rate? Oh, other ad hominems. They said that my tactics were very much like climate change deniers and creationists, which is also interesting because I'm an avid recycler.
okay, so
Okay, we're saying that
the tactics, not what you actually do.
we're not saying you are a climate change denier. We're not saying you are a creationist. We're saying that you're using the same logic as them and coming to the same sorts of erroneous conclusions. It's called an analogy.
You know, it's funny because of the video we made about this guy. There's a few other followers of him that are like big muscular guys that made a few other videos.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'll play those another day. There's this one like crazy Swedish muscle guy that made one. It was
I will
pretty
strangle the drunken
weird.
peasants.
Yeah.
The impunity.
I walk anywhere rather than take public transportation if it is within a walking distance.
Okay.
Recycle pretty much everything. So
Why are this
Well,
guy?
good for you, but
Batman
that's
doesn't
not,
recycle.
That's
He's-
not what we're talking about.
He's
though.
not even talking about the issue at all.
Right.
He's basically just
I
sucking
think-
his own dick.
Yeah, I think he's really just confusing this with like, okay, we said this thing about him, so it's like now I have to defend myself. It's like that's not what we're doing. We're basically saying your logic is faulty.
You don't even have to defend yourself against every little thing that we said.
It's basically kind of like doing like a straw man thing. He's basically saying he's positing these things we did not say on, or you guys did not say onto you, and saying, well, you're saying I'm like this, but I find that to be ironic because I'm actually an avid environmentalist. Like it's not what we're referring to. We're not referring to what you actually do. We're referring to the logic of your arguments, which I don't even know what he said, but
And later on, he mentions, well, when I lived in Texas, I, signed or started a campaign to fight against creationism in the textbooks. It's like, okay, fine. We were comparing the argument you were making about transgendered people to that of creationism. So if you're against that, maybe you should look at your argument and compare it to that.
yeah.
sure.
When you're in Texas, look behind you, 'cause that's where fake Ryback's gonna be.
Your name from his fake Ryback.
But at the end, he did thank us for the exposure. You're welcome, buddy.
Yeah.
And now we'll move on to the next one.
'Cause I'm bored with you, cat guy.
Hey, Scotty,
fucking thing sucked!
There's so many of them. All right. So this video is entitled "The Amazing Atheist's Hypocrisy."
Yay.
Good video.
TJ Kincaid,
Whoa.
otherwise known as the Amazing Atheist, is
So
probably
wait.
the most
It's funny how they still do the Kincaid thing.
It's kind of weird. Because, I mean, that's... You know, that was like my attempt at, like, I'm not going to reveal my real last name, and then, you know, that flew out the window.
A total
at some point.
aside, I remember how that got revealed. Do you remember?
No.
Like, Mom came in the room and said your name because you were doing some blog TV, and she, like, came over to the house, and she's like, you know, Thomas Kirk, you know what I mean? And you're just like, you did that mom yell where she says, like, your full name.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're just like, Mom, oh, my God.
So I was outed by Mom.
You were outed by Mom, which is pretty fucking funny. It's like,
I must have repressed that embarrassing memory.
Clancy, take out the trash!
Take out the trash, Clancy!
successful atheist on YouTube. He's been on the site for about 8 years, has over 600,000 subscribers,
and he's
over
awesome.
180 million video views. He's used his platform to appear on media outlets like CNN to sell autobiographical books, DVDs,
They're not really autobiographical.
T-shirts, and overall maintain a pretty steady career. As I mentioned in a previous video of mine, that's pretty noteworthy for a channel that talks about religion, given how divisive the topic is. He's most well known outside of his fan base for his loud, angry comedy routines about atheism.
These are God's rules.
Yep.
And to prove what a badass atheist I am, I'm gonna break every single one of them. F God.
And despite the impression that
I like that.
Fuck God.
That's one of my favorite videos here, honestly, because when you're like humping the post, you're like, oh my God, I love this post.
I don't even remember that. But
typical teaching.
I know, I'm not surprised.
Ben's done that so many times. Remember that one video? No.
No.
No. Like, you made it. No.
Past is past, present is present.
Well, you have made like over 1,000 videos though, TJ. So I guess
memories are you know, if you have a good memory, then you won't do the same thing over and over again, you know. And you can't be afraid to do the same thing, you know, because if you're just trying to be all the way original all the time, you'll never make anything. You got to just be derivative and cliche, and entrench yourself further and further into your own like little paradigm.
The persona in some of his videos might give. He's a fairly knowledgeable and intelligent person that can be calm, reasonable, and articulate when he wants to. His Drunken Peasants podcast or his more serious, unscripted videos. He's also been a passionate advocate for promoting the integrity and responsibility of public figures and organizations. In the past couple of weeks, he's made a video calling out the NFL's inconsistency, punishing Ray Rice, based on the facts made available to the general public, and multiple videos on perceived inconsistencies with feminism. And he's long been a critic of prominent creationists who attack evolution without fully understanding it.
You say evolution cannot explain these things. It can, actually. So why don't you shut your fucking mouth and open a fucking book?
Don't bleep me. I'm being censored.
Yeah.
Censor TJ.
I'm being censored, guys.
Hashtag censor TJ.
Don't censor me.
TJ.
He hasn't even said anything bad yet.
He deserved to be censored, TJ.
He seems to like me so far. I don't know.
Here
he's
to
laying a
actually
foundation
understand
of
the
what's
world
gonna attack you.
around you using the scientific method. You'd
I can't
rather
wait.
believe in a fairy tale. And that's your choice. But don't make these videos claiming that your
Get to the
fairy
fucking argument,
tale has
man.
somehow proven science
We are the bog.
wrong. And that you understand better than actual scientists what science means, what science is, what science can explain.
So it's a bit surprising to me when he makes a video that seems to kind of contradict his values.
Fuck you, audience! I'm gonna set you on fire! Blah!
What?
No. Oh well.
Okay, that's
Yeah, I
actually
never
standard.
should have done that. I'm sorry, guys. I never should have set my audience on fire like that. I was drunk, mostly on my own power. I'm sorry.
Fair for him. Get to the part where he asks the question.
Yeah, get to that part.
And the question might sound insulting, and I can see how it would be, but it's not really intended that way.
You know how when somebody says, I'm not racist, but, or I'm not sexist, but, and then they say something that's really racist or sexist, this is going to be similar.
Does anyone really believe this shit?
Okay, so I wanted to see what a candid Christian response to this video would be from somebody who's never seen The Amazing Atheist before. So I took the end of the video where he repeats the question in a more fleshed out form and showed it to my Bible study group.
Good.
Yeah, here they are.
All right. Now this is where it gets fun.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask my question to both the formerly religious and the currently religious. Do you actually believe the you say when it comes to religion? And how
this guy's a dork.
do you maintain that belief in the total absence of any evidence, and despite the fact that the stuff you believe is clearly ridiculous? I'm
Yeah.
an amazing atheist. Peace.
All right.
Out.
Now what?
Yeah, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
This guy is a
Hold
jerk.
on. Let's just see. Let's take a review of the cast here.
Okay.
So it's all white guys.
Yeah, and I believe they're Catholic.
So let's see. They got like which one? They got like a skinnier younger Seth Rogen back there. in the like blue plaid shirt.
Yeah.
His shorts
Then
are
they
torn
got-
too, so he's cool.
They got the guy who's kind of the outlier in the orange shirt and the blue pants.
There's a guy in an Aerosmith shirt.
They all look bemused for the most part. Like,
That one guy on the couch looks kind of angry with the striped shirt, and then the dude wearing the like blue shirt with the fucking shield and shit on it, he looks kind of distressed.
what's going on?
The guy standing next to him looks kind of amused. I can't really see whoever's wearing the white shirt.
Yeah, he's hidden.
The Aerosmith guy, he looks kind of just like.
Yeah, who cares?
He almost looks stoned to me.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
He's just
Is
kind of
it
like,
just the Aerosmith
whoa.
shirt?
It might, maybe
Whoa,
if you wear an
bro.
Aerosmith shirt, every expression on your face just looks like you're stoned. And then they got Shaggy watching down there on the floor.
Zoinks!
So that's a cast of characters. Dead silence. Oh, there's a neckbeard there.
100,000 views
Yes.
for that?
Isn't that horrible?
For that.
Did you want to say
For
something?
that, hey, there was a girl there.
Yeah.
She must be lost.
He's I think this guy's about to say something
It's a
about you.
traitor to. He's a traitor to neckbeards.
Yeah,
what is
come
he
on,
doing
man.
there? You should be an atheist. We accept
Join the
you,
cult.
brother. We love you.
Join the cult of atheism.
The neckbeard cult.
I'm going to entrust you to his heart. And when you are Catholic, I will rejoice dining at the wedding feast of the Lamb with you.
Wow.
God bless you, good sir.
Basically,
God rest
The wedding feast of the Lamb. Come on, man.
sounds
The
great.
wedding feast of the Lamb.
I want some lamb. Even though I don't
You know, I mean, showing a video to a group of people who all profess this religious belief is really not a very honest way to get a genuine reaction, because everyone's just going to be looking to that moment of silence right after the video stopped, because they're all waiting to see how everyone else is going to
Right.
react to it, because they want that social cue. So if you really wanted to get an honest reaction, you should have shown it to them one by one individually and then ask their impressions when they don't have other people around them to color their thinking.
You know, I mean, it kind of shows that that group is not really open-minded, because it's kind of just like, haha, this is a joke, this guy is wrong, how can you have so many views? And I mean, if they're a Bible study group, they should.
And by the way, the reason I
why
asked...
not at least critically examine the issue?
The reason I asked the question...
Have a real response.
The reason I asked the question about whether or not... Why people... Because I genuinely wanted to know, does anyone actually really believe this? And I'm still not convinced that anyone does, other than crazy people like G-Man.
G-Man.
Like, I just don't feel like rational people really genuinely, truly believe in religion.
the
But I could be
response
mistaken.
from the Bible study group was, to use a clip from one of TJ's videos,
Is this gal for real?
it's a completely loaded question that doesn't warrant a serious response.
Yes,
so let's
that's
get
a
into
joke.
why
What?
TJ's
Wait,
even
what?
asking the question.
How is it a loaded question?
It's not a loaded question. You just if the
I mean, he's saying. I guess you said that because, like, oh, well, you're saying, does anyone really believe in this? It's like, I can see it from that perspective, but I mean, it's like, okay, let's phrase it this way: can you honestly say to us, in all sincerity, I totally believe, I have no qualms, and it's just like, I believe, and it's been proven to me that that this religion, Catholicism, the belief that the God you're positing belief in is real, is totally real. Like,
I mean, I
you
just
know.
I guess I would just have like the same reservations that like Doug Stanhope had. It's like, if you believe that when you die you're going to an eternal paradise, why are you wearing a seatbelt?
Right.
I mean, like, why do you cry when, you know, why would a Christian mother cry when her child is killed?
Well, and also, how do you know? I mean, this is an argument everyone's heard before, but like, how do you know Catholicism, even if you do believe, is the correct religion to believe in or correct God to believe in?
Just like he said, G-Man wouldn't even believe that these guys are real Christians.
G-Man's mind, like, oh, they're atheists pretty much. Because they don't believe in the proper God.
Or they're, you know, being tricked by Satan.
Well, and G-Man's an atheist when it comes to respect to Islam or any other religion. He doesn't believe any of that shit. I mean, that you know, has a monotheistic gods or pagan gods. He doesn't believe any of that. He's an atheist.
He's an atheist to starving children, too.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much is. I mean, and to say, oh, this is just loaded, how can anyone even ask this question? That's just a total cop-out. Well, it's just not a real question. I just don't get it.
In the first place.
I mean, like, seriously, does anyone really believe this? I just don't see how anyone could. It's too ridiculous. Once upon a time, there was nothing, but there was God somehow. He was bored with nothingness, so he said, let there be light. Let there be land and water and trees and birds and shit. And magically it all just happened.
Okay, making hackneyed summaries of the other side's position is something that atheists
No, hold on, shut up. That's not a hackneyed summary of your position. Go read the Bible. It says exactly that God just willed everything into being with his words. It said God said, let there be light, and there was light. God said, let there be this, and there was that, and blah, blah, blah. That's how it goes.
This is just typical Christian sophistry.
You're basically just saying, like, oh, you're misrepresenting my position. No, not really. That's what happened. That if you read Genesis, I didn't go through the exact story, but I mean, I think that's actually a pretty fair summation of it, to just say God came and willed everything into being, and this and that and da-da-da-da-da.
Dude, even when you actually quote Bible verses to Christians, they just find some other sophistry. Say, oh, okay, well, what version of the Bible are you using? Oh, what about this and what about that?
And you got to put that in context, and that was metaphorical and blah, 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 blah.
There's always going to be some sophistry or some gymnastics or, you know, contortions they're going to do to say, well, this is actually correct because if you look at it from this way, you know, and the hypotenuse of the triangle, and you read it upside down at the certain time on the certain day in this light, this magically will show you that this is right. And you're just like, okay, I don't believe any of that. You know, sorry, this is bullshit.
Christians and Christians do to atheists all the time. TJ, you're probably aware of this, but the only real value they have is comedy within your own side. If you're using it to try and
what's wrong with that? Even if that's true, even if it's just like something to amuse atheists, what do you think my audience is fucking made of?
Committed Christians.
I mean, like, yeah. If I'm just, when I described it that way, I was going for a laugh, but I also think it's a pretty fair and accurate description. So.
No, you have to have a very dry delivery.
Right.
Hi, guys.
Totally serious.
And I need to be complete.
Amazing Earth.
I need to be complete. It's almost like anything short of being completely conciliatory to ideas, which I frankly think are ridiculous, is somehow strawmanning or taking them out of context or not representing them accurately or whatever.
Look, religious people are so easily butthurt. You know, and it's always like, they always kind of like frame it like this, you're insulting my religion. It's like, well, so what? If you really truly have this deeply committed, you know, faith to what you believe, then you shouldn't care if I insult it. What difference does it make to you? It's like, well, I still believe, and you know, I just dismiss all of this, and you're wrong. I don't get it. You know, it's just that these people are constantly framing things in these ways where you have to, like you said, be conciliatory. You have to frame it this certain way, or they just get super offended. And just, oh, you're taking pot shots at this, and you're doing all this, and no, we're not. We're pointing out the inconsistencies, and you're basically just saying, well, it's a bunch of bullshit and just dismissing it offhand.
On that note, do you want to move on?
Sure.
All right. Before we move on, everyone, please hit the like button, everyone listening. This is the earliest show we've ever done, so there's probably a lot more people in Europe and other parts of the world watching now than what would normally be.
So give it a like.
Yep. And subscribe to our regular channel, youtube.com/Drunken Peasants.
Because we should be back there.
Yeah, we will be back there shortly. Probably the next show. You know what's funny though? There were still some people like on the West Coast bitching about us doing the show early. It's like everyone thinks we should like schedule our time to meet their time zone, as if, you know, their time is the right time that everyone should schedule around.
Well, yeah,
we live in a very egomaniacal time, Ben.
Yeah.
People really just feel like everything should pander and revolve around them.
There's too many fucking time zones, and there's too much fucking land, and the internet is too connected for us to have the perfect time for everyone. Sorry.
We just need to do
Scotty.
a show every hour on the hour.
Someone to suck your dick. You're a moron. But that's neither here nor there.
It's neither here nor there.
You just want someone to suck your dick. You're a moron, but that's neither here nor there.
I don't remember.
I like that fucking. That was that weird camera you had, TJ. Do you remember that fucking camera with like the eyeball that tried to follow
The one in the
you?
background?
Yeah, it was this weird camera that it wasn't successful because like it was like, oh, it's gonna track your movements, and like it would like track you for a second, then just go like up to the ceiling or something.
Yeah, it was quite an eccentric piece of equipment.
Yeah.
You are about to learn secrets
Oh,
that
God.
most people will never know about godlike power.
Sweet.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm E.A. Coetting.
Welcome to Bad Green
creator
Screen.
of the most powerful
What's
occult
his name?
movement in the world.
I don't know.
Shill McDouchebag.
I watched this earlier and it made me laugh pretty hard because this guy can help you harness godlike power.
Called Become a Living God.
Okay.
Subscribe right now and you'll get uncensored access to my hardcore.
Seriously. Look at this.
Okay.
What is he doing?
He's obtaining godlike power, dude.
Live rituals, Magus interviews, video podcasts, and video blog. You're going to learn rituals that will awaken your clairvoyance for spirit communication.
Is this guy a troll? Is he for real?
I think he's for real. Actually,
This is just a joke.
the person who sent this to me actually saw this as an ad.
Oh wow.
Yeah, as a YouTube ad. So this is real, I would say.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
I'll show you how to evoke any spirit to visible appearance.
No, you won't.
And I'm going to give you proven
No,
techniques
you won't.
for experiencing the God
I'll give you proven techniques at video editing like this.
No, you won't, dude. This is fucking garbage.
mind in soul travel. And the best part
How do
is,
you know, Scotty?
I'm
You've
giving you
never
all of
tried
this totally free when you subscribe. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see
No
you in the
thanks.
next video.
Become a living god.
Okay.
Isn't that what G-Man said,
Here-
though? We're our own god?
I have a question.
Okay.
And here's my question. If he's already become a living god, why the fuck is he making YouTube videos? And even if he is, why does he have like 100 million subscribers? He's a living god.
Why do you have to pay for this ad to
Yeah.
run over other people's videos?
Yeah, it's just like it just shows you in every little subculture and niche, there's always just something way you can prey on people who are just like, I'm just weak and powerless, and like you can become powerful, you can become a living god.
There's a lot of videos out there on YouTube, and some are educational and informational. Some teach you how to cook.
Sure.
All sorts of things. You can learn a lot on
Yeah, of
YouTube.
course.
Well, this next guy that we're about to play is going to give us a tutorial on something very valuable that every man should know how to do, or maybe even women too.
Well, this is a good tutorial too to become a living god.
I like this one better.
Yo, promised I'll make y'all a little demonstration video on how to eat ass.
Okay.
Cause y'all niggas ain't doing it right.
Alright.
Either y'all ain't doing it right, or y'all just ain't doing it. Cause y'all niggas is pussy. Y'all niggas is scared. Scared to lick the butt, but the butt is right next to the pussy.
True.
He's true. That's true.
He's right so far. Everything he said.
Everything so far has been accurate.
How y'all niggas be eating pig feet, chitlins, cow tongue, McDonald's, Burger King, all that fast food, but you scared to lick the ass, my nigga?
Yet another valid point.
Because shit comes out of your ass.
I can just see
that could be why.
I can just see well, he said chitlins, but
I don't eat any of that.
Shitlins.
I can
And
see
if
the
I
next.
did, I mean, that's like cooked food.
Yeah. I can see the next Hey Scotty, he'll be like, "Hey Scotty, you scared to eat the ass, nigga?"
Okay, just because you said that, it's definitely gonna happen.
I know.
That's why you're doing. Don't worry, Ben. We have something special planned for you.
Oh shit.
We have something very special because Ben always thinks he can get away with this shit. Oh, I'm gonna troll you. It's like, Ben, let's just say your time is soon.
I didn't make these videos though.
Oh yeah, but you encouraged it, Ben. That's kind of like, oh, I was
Scotty's vengeance would be
I
swift.
wasn't the one that did it, but
Scotty doesn't like the Hey Scotty shit.
Oh, okay.
Who possibly would like constantly having to hear that shit? Like, there's no way anyone, if you took one individual person and just constantly did the same thing over and over again, okay, this is so old, this is so tired, but you have to hear it over and over again.
All right, so we're not going to do Hey Scotties anymore, guys. No more Hey Scotties.
Oh, wow. I tell Ben it's like, your time is soon, but back away from Hey Scotty.
I'm just letting everyone know they can stop sending me Hey Scotties.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I'm sure that's going to stop everyone from doing it.
Where you think the food go, my nigga, when it leave? The ass, my nigga. So your bitch ass tastes like chitlins, pig feet, Burger King, my nigga. Why you so scared, man?
I don't know.
I love this guy.
It's not
Get over
accurate.
your fears real quick. Tell you what to put on her ass so it don't taste like ass.
Dude, I love this guy. He's just
Lord,
insane.
get you some of that seasoning salt for that ass.
This guy has a total troll. This is a total troll.
Seasoning salt.
This is bullshit.
Hellman's mayonnaise for that ass. Buffalo chicken sauce.
Red hot wings.
And if you really love her, get her some of that Irish cream coffee creamer for that ass.
For that ass.
Just listen, I'm gonna give you the demonstration now.
Okay.
First, make sure your bitch is clean. And then you grab the ass like this. Like real strong, you gotta just grab it. Like my nigga Brian Pumper doing a video. I be watching that shit. That nigga inspired me, my nigga. That nigga nasty. That nigga straight dirt. And then you grab the ass like this. And then you...
That is all pretty accurate, though.
I know.
It's all pretty accurate. You can do the up and down motion, too. It doesn't allow it to be like... But
That's pretty much it for that one.
Oh, man.
Actually, maybe there's a little more. Let's see. No. Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay. Here's a video. God has finally been proven to exist.
Really?
Atheism is dead.
I'm surprised. I didn't hear about this.
I got a question from an atheist.
Yeah.
That was asking me how, can you prove that God exists? And I said, well, first let's talk about proving that something is transcendent, that's bigger than us, bigger than time and space and the material world. So because of all the times where I've seen proof of something bigger than us is when I've been at funerals.
Uh-huh.
Because grief is proof
No,
that
it's not.
love is more powerful than death.
What? How?
Grief is proof?
Grief is proof that love is more powerful than death. No, if you grieve for someone and they came back to life, that would be proof that love is more powerful than death. But you go ahead and you grieve and they stay dead, so I would say that death is more powerful. Death seems to have the leg up. Everyone finds death, not everyone finds love.
And who condemned everyone to death because of original sin?
Well, according to Christians, it was God. According to biology, death is just incidental fact of being a living thing.
Right.
Because really, if you think about it, if nothing exists out of what we experience or what we know, the moment someone dies, we should stop loving them.
What?
Because the object of our love is gone.
What are you talking about?
And so
that's
if there
like
isn't
wait,
something-
hold on. That's the whole reason people grieve is because that's gone. I mean, that's like the whole reason that grief even happens is like, I loved this person and now they're gone, so I'm sad. That's what grief is.
No.
So I don't understand this weird if there was nothing beyond us, then it doesn't even make sense to be sad because they're just gone.
You're wrong, TJ.
Proof of God.
God exists.
Yep. Basically, this guy just said that grief is proof of God.
Oh, yeah, totally. This guy's right. TJ wants to sit here on YouTube and put this high and mighty, I know best. But what does TJ really know? I asked people if they consider this in their heart of hearts. What does TJ really know about anything? Has TJ ever lost anyone close to him? The answer is no. Has TJ ever suffered? The answer is no.
Never.
Never
That's
once.
why atheists can be so smug, because everyone knows atheist relatives live forever. So, that's it.
Beyond us, something bigger than us. The moment your dad died, all the emotions that you felt toward him should have ended that moment. But in fact, you will love your father all your life. And if anything, you feel the profound nature of that love more powerfully right now than even before he passed away. And so I would say to you, Matt and Lori, is that your grief is proof that love is more powerful than death.
No.
That's gibberish, you know.
That's like just. I mean, it's
our,
just like
our dad is dead. It was not. We were not in the hospital, and like, you know what? I know God exists now because I'm really sad. That was like actually the first. I remember TJ even said that. He's like, you know, this actually strengthens the fact that I am an atheist. It's not the contrary, where, you know, like, you know what? In my moment of weakness, now I'm gonna pray to God. You know, like TJ even said, like, he's even said before, you know, like, I haven't said, you know, like, I'll pray just, you know, like, I know it's meaningless, but maybe something will happen. You know, just because, like, fuck it, why not at this point? I'm, like, in this horrible situation. And you know, to us, it was never like, I mean, I was really sad and upset, but I never was like, you know, okay, this is, you know, my grief just shows me that God exists. I don't understand. There's no logic to any of the statements. It doesn't make any sense. It's just like a statement.
It's just like, oh well, if you grieve because if there's nothing larger than yourself, then your love should just be gone when that person's gone. I'm like, that's not how human emotions work.
No, not at all. It's just ridiculous.
Wow, what a load of shit.
And even though there's a different experience right now, because your dad is not here with us, but he is not lost.
Yeah.
And there's a greater distance between you right now, between
he's
time
not lost
and
because he's remembered by the people that knew
but
him.
love travels that distance. And so what you feel in your grief is not the loss and absence of your dad, it's just the new distance that love
So let me
has to
ask you this
travel.
question then.
What?
Okay,
That's bullshit.
Shut up, hold on. So
You shut up,
I
you
once
fat ton of
shut
shit.
up.
You fat
I had
fuck.
a fucking remember. Hey, Scotty, remember the piece
Scotty
the fuck
came
out
back with a
pipe?
vengeance, apparently.
Piece the fuck out pipe, Scotty. Remember that?
Yeah, you destroyed it. You
I
fucking
fucking
fat.
dropped it and I broke it.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
I loved that pipe, and I still love that pipe, but
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yep.
So according to him, the second that pipe broke, I should have stopped having any feeling for it. Or according to him, like now the pipe is in like what? Pipe heaven?
Pipe heaven.
Yeah, pipe heaven.
It still exists. And when I die, if I repent before death and I go to heaven, I'll be reunited with Peace the Fuck Out pipe.
Peace the fuck out.
And I'll smoke a bowl with Jesus.
Okay, Piece the Fuck Out was a pipe that was maybe what, it was about 10 inches long. And at the bottom was a giant skull, which was a bowl, which you put tobacco in.
Yes.
And then it was a series of other skulls, and it was this awesome pipe we had for like what, 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
And one day, TJ put it on the counter, and he like went to get something. And his hand hit the counter. He knocked it off, hit the floor, and it was dead. And we cried. Like we literally were like. Everyone was at the house actually was upset.
Everyone was like actually pissed at me.
Genuinely upset.
And
like,
I was
angry.
even pissed at myself. So I wasn't even like, Scotty would be like, you're a piece of shit. And like, for one side.
That was funny. He even agreed. It's like,
I was
you know
just
what?
like, you know,
You're
for
right.
once you're right, I am. I mean.
Like, even TJ was like, man, I'm a fucking asshole. It's like, yeah, you are, dude. Fuck you, man. And he's like, I deserve it.
I really did.
You do. You fucking, fuck you still, TJ.
I agree.
Fuck you even to this day.
How did you drop it?
I set it on the counter and I fucking I set it on the counter
He knocked
and
it off.
I fucking did some. I was doing something else and I ended up knocking it off. It's a tragic day for mankind.
Ban TJ. Hashtag ban TJ. Ban TJ from reality.
It was a sad moment that.
Ban TJ from every pipe shop in the world. You should never even be allowed to buy another pipe because of what he did. Pipe genocide, TJ.
You break it, you buy it.
Fist TJ.
Hashtag fist TJ. Hashtag fist Stevie. Hashtag fist Ben. Hashtag no one wants to fist Scotty because he's awesome.
Oh, here's this guy
Oh my
again.
God! Why are you doing this to me?
What's this?
This guy.
This is
Aaron Clary.
Yeah.
Podcast. Oh, he has a podcast.
Apparently now he does.
Hey everybody, the captain here. I'm going to move this. I got
guy?
a video request. And again, you video request, asshole consulting, blah, blah, blah. You know, all right. Ray writes, how much for a video where you were hypothetically consulting as an asshole to fix what...
Apparently people pay him to make videos. Or at least that's what he says.
Who?
I don't know.
Man, are these like crackheads and just like are amused by his stories? Like, man, you real good. He has $5. You know, like what's going on here? Like, are people actually giving this guy a lot of money? I'm assuming it's like $10 or something.
I guess he wrote some self-published books or something.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Ails the U.S. What
Doesn't this guy kind of
changes might
strike
you
you as like
suggest?
the poor man's
Changes
Lee
could be in
Doran?
any area.
I mean, like, I don't want to give Lee Doran credit, but you know, Lee Doran is also kind of in the same vein where he just like everything he does on the internet is like pay me like at least $2 or $3 for it.
Yeah.
So it kind of strikes me like the poor man's Lee Doran, because Lee Doran at least has like some small.
On that
following.
note, please contribute to our Patreon.
Yeah. On that note, give us money!
Patreon.com/DP.
Example. For example, government spending, tax collection, the poor, healthcare, constitutional amendments, race relations, immigration, global conflict, revolution, or anything else you think requires fixing. That is going to be too long of a video that you don't have enough money to figure. But I put together a list that was kind of the top.
Unless this guy's a true capitalist, you don't have enough to that.
To know the hard truths that
You don't have
need to be
enough
done,
for
what
me to
should be
get in
done.
all that shit. I don't give out my precious opinions for free.
This is some guy that's like, go to the hospital, pay $10 to enter the hospital. Pay $100 to talk to a doctor for 5 minutes. For a longer consultation, you may pay $500 for a full hour with your doctor. You know, like, it just seems like that would be this guy's stance on healthcare. Just pay for his time, pay for everything.
All right. Look, if you're this guy, it's not like you're entertaining, so you can't charge people for entertaining them.
No.
You're basically just charging for your opinions and ideas. And if you're this guy, your opinions and ideas are worth literally nothing.
That video that he made about mental illness, there's a ton of negative comments on it because of us covering it. And all he could really say in reply to it was like, looks like the special ed class got out early today. Yeah. He's funny.
He funny.
Yeah, let me insult mentally ill people by insulting people with who are mentally challenged next.
Yep.
Like, what does this guy do? He just picks on like the dumbest and like the most sick people in society. This is just pathetic.
If that were the case, he'd be picking on himself.
Being the author of Enjoy the Decline and being an asshole who can speak freely, you should have interesting insights on what it would take to reverse the seemingly inevitable. Well, it won't reverse. Let's just put it that way. But magical clary land, where everything's all very clary, women would lose weight and we'd all have hot chicks in heels and thigh highs walking around in lingerie. No, just kidding. Actually, it would be like that. It would be a different world, very, very much so. I don't know if the women would like it too much. Anyway, here's what I would do any more serious.
Yeah, so he basically admits he's like, I'm openly a misogynist, you know, just want to throw
how is
and
it
I'm not even like one to throw that word around, but like he basically just said like women wouldn't like the world I would make. It's like, whoa.
How is it with like so many guys like this, how do I get a reputation as being misogynistic on the internet?
Yeah, when he clearly is.
Like, you know, like with so many dudes like this out there, like how is anyone even fucking messing with me? I don't even get that. Because there's so many guys out there that'll just like literally openly tell you like, yeah, I'm a sexist piece of shit. Women ain't worth fucking anything.
Let me explain it to you. 5,000 or whatever subscribers, 600,000 subscribers.
Right.
You know?
I need to draw more attention to this guy. You know, I need to put this dude in like the feminist face. Like, check out this guy. Bother him. Leave me alone.
That's like Cheetah's strategy. Cheetah's like, you know, I'm not attractive, so I'm going to get some really like ugly friends.
Yeah.
So Cheetah's just going to go find like the ugliest people he could find. Like, hey, buddy. You're
That's
pretty
why
ugly.
I'm good friends with my buddy Ben here.
I already knew you were going to go after me and Ben with that. But I'm just saying, like...
Well, I had no choice with you. That was just luck, you know.
I have no response to that. You got me.
Serious manner, and this is assuming that, you know, as a consultant, I'd recommend it so they can even
What
be
do you
off the wall or
consult on?
completely impractical.
Who is
Or
fucking...
impossible. They're
I don't
practical,
believe
but
anyone's
impossible.
paying this man.
I'd eliminate all taxes and we consolidate it into one sales tax. That's probably the most important thing we could do because
Wait.
it makes...
Okay, so you're basically saying you want to tax consumption, which, I mean, I agree with to some point, but that would disproportionately affect basically poor people because poor people are the ones where sales tax and those taxes that you pay every day affect them more greatly than someone who's rich who doesn't even notice sales tax. Just like, oh, how much is it or whatever. It's just a typical, like, you know, conservative viewpoint. It's, you know, get rid of all income tax. It's all bad. And, you know, let's just tax the shit out of income. Not income. Let's tax the shit out of, like, sales tax. I guess he's almost advocating for, like, a value-added tax.
I just feel like there should be no taxes for me, but everyone else should be taxed heavily.
Tax is easier to collect. You'd get rid of the IRS. They would be more of an enforcement agency on companies that are required to collect the taxes, just like you have sales tax. You know, Walmart's got a sales tax, so that takes it away from the individual.
But how high would our taxes have to go to cover the current things we have going on, unless you just dismantled everything, every social safety
Well,
net?
he is a libertarian, so I'm sure that's probably another thing he's going to say is, like, get rid of...
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to. And you'd have to get rid of infrastructure funding and everything else. I'm sure his solution is the state will pay for it. And we already know how well most states actually do. Because I mean, the reason in the U.S. the drinking age is 21 is because of federal highway funding, which our infrastructure, as anyone that's been to the U.S. knows, is shitty now because we don't spend enough money on it. And the tax, and what we actually do have for that is a point of sale tax, which is a gas tax, which is like 18.6 cents, which no one wants to raise because who the fuck wants to go to their constituents and say, hey, this thing that a lot of you buy every day? Let's make it more expensive. That'll work.
And it gives it to the companies or people doing business.
Look, such
you don't
corporations
fill out a tax return. Your own private life is your own private life. No,
okay,
anybody's
that's fine.
fucking business.
I have no problem with that.
And it'd be one same rate. And that way everybody pays the same rate. And no, that's not regressive. You're paying the exact same
regressive.
percentage. So when...
Okay, how is it not regressive? Person A makes $30,000 a year. They pay 10%. Person B makes $500,000 a year. Oh, but you're saying the percentage is different. It's like, so when you're wealthy or you make a lot of money, it doesn't really affect you to pay $50,000 or $100,000.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, if you're making $30,000 a year, you're pretty much spending $30,000 a year to stay alive.
Exactly.
So it
is regressive.
Most of what you're purchasing is stuff that you basically need to even have a life. Like, your house and your food and your clothing and all that stuff. Whereas if you make, $500,000 a year,
most of that's probably going to a bank account unless you live in a very expensive place.
Right. You're not spending $500,000 a year. You're probably not. I mean, I guess
you
some
could.
People, sure. But, even if you did, it would be on a lot of superfluous shit.
Of course.
So, I mean, like, you're basically saying that, like, someone who... So it disproportionately does punish people who make less money because... the income they make is income they need to live, whereas that rich person
doesn't need all that income.
They only need a fraction of their income to actually live, and the rest is just for, shits and giggles.
And a lot of states now are already about 7 or 8%. Like, what would he, I mean, in order to cover all these things with the government, we'd probably be more like 15 to 20%. We'd be more like, something you see in Canada or Europe. And that would, even doing that, there'd be huge cuts across the board to the government. Like, services that people just take for granted now should be gone because there's no way we can afford them.
Thaddeus McStevenson III buys his yacht. He's paying a lot more in taxes than you are when you go buy your fucking Walmart jeans.
But it doesn't matter to Thaddeus McSteven because he's already fucking rich. It doesn't matter if he goes and buys a yacht. That's a luxury. So what? And of course it's right for him to be taxed higher because it doesn't really affect him. But at the same time, all of his income that he's making, he doesn't pay a cent on.
So gives you an incentive to get out of the poorer classes and work a little bit harder, but, dwell in pig filth if you want. This is assuming it was more of a meritocracy and you had the opportunity.
Oh, yes, because all poor people are just lazy. We have to do the same argument over and over again. Every poor person is just a lazy, no good, doesn't want to work.
Let the markets decide.
He's saying, though, that in his society it would be a meritocracy, so anyone who worked hard would reap the rewards of working hard.
Oh, bullshit.
How is he going to institute
Bull
that?
Fucking shit.
I'd like to hear the specifics of how you even make a meritocracy happen.
He's basically advocating for, early 19th century capitalism where it's just unregulated, anything goes capitalism. And he's like, but the hard-working guy in the trench, he's going to get his due. No, he's fucking not. We all know he's not because there's going to be rich assholes above him taking all the fucking money because they're the ones that have the money to fund the projects or the infrastructure projects or whatever the business of the day is. They're going to have the money. They're going to have all the control, and the people are going to need money to live, so they're going to have the fucking shitty job. Like it's always been in a capitalist society. Or pretty much fucking if you go back to serfs. No matter how far you go back in history, the plebs always get fucked. That's just how it is.
The other thing that's very important about the national sales tax rate is that, it could be adjusted. People could vote in whatever socialist ideas they want, but you'd see the immediate cost. You're allowed to determine the effective and immediate accurate price of government. So right now, tell me what the price of government is. None of you know. And it's different for different people, because they have different rates and different things and all that other stuff. We're getting rid of all the taxes, and there's just one fucking tax. And that's great because it allows you to say, hey, government costs me
Your approach is just too
27.
simplistic. I mean, I agree that the U.S. tax system is too complicated, but conservatives like these talking pieces where it's like, we're just going to have one thing. We're going to make this really complex thing, which is our whole society, into this really condensed issue of just one tax. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Because on its face, to these people that have, it's like, you know, the 10-10-10 or the 9-9-9 thing with Herman Cain.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it sounds really good because it's like, oh, it's so simple. But when you look at it, it's like, it's really, it's basically a fucking total gimme to rich people. And it totally fucks the people that don't even pay income tax now, which they'd have to pay.
Right.
They'd have no choice at that point. It's like, okay, you have 3 kids and you have a mortgage and you can't afford this. You still have to pay it. Sorry.
And I mean, like, what he's I mean, like, the people who don't make much money now don't pay income tax at all anyway. They usually get fucking refunds.
Yeah, because they pay too much into the system.
So basically, for a huge portion of Americans, his ideas would be a tax increase. They would be a huge tax hike.
Yeah.
So basically, here's a libertarian who's sitting there telling us he wants to raise taxes on most Americans. So, I mean, that doesn't even seem like a truly libertarian ideal to me.
No.
% of what I'm spending. Government costs me 15%.
Not that he has to fit
and then if
into
you say, well,
some
let's just
specific paradigm.
pay for all the children's health care, and then your tax rate goes from 17% to 27%. You're like, oh, whoa, is it really worth paying 10% of my salary, even though I don't have kids, to some people that can't stop breeding? So that's the one thing that would scare all
You're
the politicians.
a fucking idiot.
What do you mean 10% of your salary? You said you didn't want income tax. You said you wanted sales tax.
If you say that people wanted to vote in these ideas, then they would see the immediate impact. Okay, but that's why we'd have that's why universal healthcare system makes more sense, because the cost is divided by everyone who's at some point going to use the healthcare system. You're saying, oh, these sick kids or these kids that need healthcare. It's like, well, kids do need more healthcare than the average adult. Sorry. And you just want a society where it's like, well, everyone just, can get private insurance, but it can't be regulated because that's intrusive. So, well, basically, we're going to go back to the insurance where we had Obamacare and anything like that, where the insurance market could just deny you for any reason. Oh, I had a cough last week. Well, you might be sick a lot. Denied. Pay for your own healthcare costs. Well, how can I afford them? No, the average person can't afford them. They're exorbitant. Have a nice day.
To figure out what the effect, you look at a Big Mac. What's a Big Mac? Well, it's $3 and change. You can judge, is that worth it or not? With this, you could say, hey, is it worth 35% of my income to pay for everything that everybody wants? And then you can make a more educated and effective decision. So that. I would eliminate regulations, kind of akin to the Justinian laws of simplification. Look it up. I'd probably even dismantle the EPA and all that. And what I would do...
Oh, yeah, the environment, we don't need to worry about that. Let's just pollute and do whatever we want. That's all a bunch of, hooey, and it's just it's causing the job creators to have a lot of problems.
The job creators.
The job creators,
the ones who create jobs in other countries.
Yeah, the Koch the Koch brothers and the oil companies. Whoever wants to pollute America, the Deepwater Horizon spill that was just pumping oil into the Gulf for almost 100 days. No penalties, no fines. They can operate however they want, because we don't need to worry about that.
I can tell that TJ wants to move on. Yeah.
I feel like there's
this guy just makes me angry. I want to strangle him.
Yeah.
Basically. He's a total idiot.
I mean, I don't understand how anyone when he talks about getting rid of the EPA, I'm just sitting there
it's not even logical.
Like, what are you talking about? I mean, you want a world where moneyed interests can treat the environment like it's just this, like every fucking single resource is just renewable endlessly, when many resources are not renewable.
Well, look at China, where they have less environmental regulations. Look how dirty the air is there.
Yeah, there was something called the Yangtze dolphin, which is pretty much extinct now because of pollution and the destruction of its habitat. And it's like, and people could say, species go extinct all the time, but just think about the people in Beijing and Shanghai and all these coastal cities and places where they can't even breathe the fucking air in. Yeah. I mean, are you really saying this is the best thing for the environment? I mean, China underwent this huge industrial growth span in a very short amount of time. It's people's lifespans that are being cut drastically, and that's why China's almost on the forefront of all this stuff. They're trying to change that because they're like, wait a minute, this is killing all our people. This is destroying the environment. This is not good. Yeah. And even when the Chinese have woken up to this, and you have people in America saying, well, let's just go back and just pollute everything, and lead and mercury, it's no big deal. It's all fine. Oh, he's an idiot.
It just adds character.
Yeah, it's character, yeah.
Puts hair on
when children die, and adults die from preventable diseases because of corporations.
My baby was born with 3 heads and 15 arms.
All right, I think we'll move on.
I think Ben is the one who wants to move on.
I do.
Don't put it off on
move on to a love affair with Clary here.
He's a good guy. No, he's genuinely a piece of shit. I don't think he even deserves to live.
Okay, folks, we're going to watch D-Sardy1 shoot himself in the political foot again.
I see we're pretty much onto the same guy.
So we're
just
on a teabagger, basically.
Yeah, he's got a fucking raccoon hat on.
Yeah.
And the "Don't Tread on Me" flag.
You know, it's unfortunate because that flag is actually part of the history of the United States, but now it just become the official flag of assholes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be like driving in really nice neighborhoods and see those flags flying on flagpoles. Like, who the fuck is treading on you?
Yeah, you fucking rich, white, fucking privileged faggots. You're being so tread on.
Probably not. It is not okay to be gay.
All right.
Actually, it is.
This just in. Raccoon hat guy says it is not okay to be gay.
Well, okay, well,
I would say
raccoon
I would
guy.
say it's not okay to fucking wear raccoon hats and suspenders, but you know, you don't see me imposing those values on you. So
now, this started, what got me to make this video was last night when I was on a unnamed gun chat.
Gun chat?
And Yankee Marshall, and you can ask Yankee Marshall, he is pro-gay marriage, I mean, he's anti-God. He's atheist. He does not believe in God. And I believe you can ask him, and he will admit to this.
Okay.
So what?
Anyway, he got it.
I don't know who that is,
The argument was started about gay marriage and what skin it is. Now, God gives everybody a choice. You know, you have a choice. You know, the tree of knowledge.
Can you prove
Eve
God
took it.
exists?
So yeah, well, I mean,
that's
that's always the crux of any of these arguments.
You know, I mean, so like, even if we accept your fucking shoddy premise, you know, then of course going by the scripture and the biblical interpretation of marriage, then no, it's wrong.
You know, the choice was there. And the tree of knowledge is partaken to so much, that's why a lot of these
I think you
scholars...
need to fucking take a bite from the tree of knowledge, you ignorant asshole.
You know, the thing about this is, like, he's talking about choice, so obviously I know the argument he's gonna make here. I don't understand any supposedly heterosexual people who are like, this is, you know, gay is a choice. Because I know enough heterosexual men to know that, like, very, very few of them are even slightly tempted to have sex with someone of the same gender.
Even if even if it was a choice, it was conclusively proven this is a choice. Who gives a fuck?
I would say,
shouldn't someone have the right to choose what they want to do with their own body?
But I mean, it's not even a choice.
Well, I would
but
say
even if it was,
I'm saying even if it was,
I would say the act of sex itself is a choice,
Sure.
but not the attraction.
Right?
No,
you don't choose who you're fucking attracted to. It's not like you can say, oh well, you know, I'm choosing to be gay. From now on I'm gonna be very attracted to men.
Yeah,
you can't do that if it's not part of who you are already.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like it's like trying to force yourself to like a movie you don't like.
yeah, or a
something
certain kind
like
of
that.
food. It's like, you know, I like, you know, I'm a vegetarian. Well, here, have some meat. You should like meat now. It's like, I don't want it. You know,
I
eat
can't
it.
choose to like something I don't like. I can't go say like I'm gonna become Justin Bieber's biggest fucking fan.
It's your choice whether
Well, you
or not
already
you
are,
like
though, so.
Transformers, TJ.
But TJ, come on, TJ, that's a little bit disingenuous because we all know you love Justin Bieber.
Baby, oh!
Anti-God, because they consider themselves so well educated.
Wouldn't it be great if the
that,
raccoon
they
came back to life and started biting his face?
That would be awesome.
It looks like it's pretty far gone at this point.
No, I think it's just playing possum, dude.
Cannot
be a
conceive
possum, then?
anybody knowing any more than they do. Anyway,
That's
back
a straw
to the
man.
gay thing.
Back
I'm
to
making
the
this
fangs.
because, you know, as putting my name on the ballot for governor, you know, the question...
What?
Hold on, what?
Surely you just.
What
by the way,
state does he live in? Oh yeah, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, are we covering that at all, or can we just go over that now?
Did he make a video for it?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Go ahead.
Scotty, did you hear about that? Josh Feuerstein?
No, what?
He said that he's going to run for president.
He has my vote.
So, just an interesting little factoid
Yeah.
for all you people out there.
TJ, I think you should be his vice president.
That's a good idea. I just see if Josh is going to run for president, I think I should be vice president.
has been asked of me if the gay marriage thing came to me to be signed, would you sign it? And the answer is no. I could not sign it.
What if the majority of the people in your state agreed with it?
He doesn't care.
Would you not put the will of the people and a democracy above your own personal values?
But you know what? The argument he would make is, well, I can't put them above God because God is, my final authority, the supreme being. So he doesn't. And he's told me
that to me is why religious people should not hold public office.
Well, I agree with you, but obviously most people do not.
Well, most people are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
God gives everyone a choice, whether you want to be gay or not, whether you want to burn in hell or not. It's your choice. If I sign it, I would be giving my stamp of approval to a satanic act. And I would never approve, give my seal of approval to any satanic acts, period.
I have a feeling.
I would not.
I have a feeling, and I'm not sure if this feeling is accurate, but I feel like this man will probably never be governor of any state. I don't know what it is. There's something. I mean, I don't have any rational reason why not, but I just feel like it's not going to happen
Get the
for
fuck
him.
out of here, Cheetah. This guy's going to a shoe-in.
Shoe-in, huh?
I'd say he'll probably get about 70 to 80%, maybe 90%, you think, Ben? 90%?
Yeah, I mean, I want to vote for him already. I want to move to whatever state he's running.
Yeah,
in just to vote
guys,
for him.
let's just make a commitment right now. Whatever state this guy, let's move just so we can vote for him.
Is he a member of the Silly Hat Party or?
I think so.
The Davy Crockett wannabe.
Maybe in the next video he's wearing like a Napoleon hat. Then he's wearing one of those like fruit hats. That
actually would be a pretty cool gimmick.
Every video, it's a new wacky hat.
Because that would be just like me condoning it. So I don't condone it, and I could never vote for it.
I watch it online sometimes, but
so another reason why I won't be elected is because I'm
he
just come
knows.
right out and tell you I've thought about it.
At least he knows.
Yeah, at least he knows he has no chance.
There's my stance. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Savior.
All right, so what?
If a gay marriage thing came up, it'd be no. Actually, I would support the one marriage between a man and a woman.
It's called a woman.
One man, one
another man, two men, three men,
whatever that other sex is. I don't know.
Don't vote for me.
All right.
By the way, this also does not mean I'm going to send stormtroopers in to grab the gay people, because it's your decision. If you wish to burn in hell, do it. The Bible is not really that hard. I mean, it's really kind of like gripping the handgun.
Not as hard as my cock when I look at gay porn, anyway. I mean, like, I'm sorry. I love these Christians who are like, if you want to burn in hell, that's your choice. It's like, there is no hell, there is no God. You're a moron. Get out of my face. And even if there were, that to me would be like the greatest form of fascism. It's like, behave and believe as I command, or you're gonna fucking suffer eternally.
Our benevolent dictator.
Our malevolent dictator with claims of benevolence, basically. And in the Quran, it actually gets even more detailed about what hell's like. They actually say that you'll be roasted, your skin will be roasted, and then you'll be given a new skin, and then that will be roasted, and then you'll be given a new skin, and then that will be roasted, and that'll just occur over and over again throughout eternity. The thing is, like, I think any circumstance that you endure for an eternity is not, you're gonna get used to it. I don't care what it is.
Oh yeah, I mean, even if it was like, eat whatever food you want and be in paradise, I mean, at some point it would just be routine. I mean, maybe because, if heaven existed, it'd be like, this perfect place, and maybe you wouldn't get sick of it, but it's such a far-fetched idea.
I think the roasting in flames version of hell is actually less scary than the Christians who just say, well, hell is just, it's the absence of God, and, you don't know it now, but without God, you just have this inherent inability to feel fulfilled on any level. It's almost like a part of you is missing, and you can't even truly feel alive. To me, that sounds like a worse hell than just like, you're going to suffer for a lot forever.
If you get the concept, be good, give God credit.
No.
You've pretty well got it covered.
That's, you know, the Bible has a very strange ideas about what constitutes good, actually. And by the way, if if you're going to go the biblical route with homosexuality, you actually should send stormtroopers into the gay people's houses and kill them, because it says right in Leviticus that, you know, if a man lie with a man as he lieth with a woman, then he shall surely be put to death.
Yeah, stone him.
And that's pretty much the only biblical verse that explicitly condemns homosexuality. So if you have this strong anti-homosexual stance, it must be derived from Leviticus, and therefore you should be in favor of stoning gay people to death. Or maybe not stoning them, but killing them in some way.
Yeah, some way, killing them, ending their lives. I mean, however
since you're a Bible believer and all.
Yeah, however you choose to end their life, I mean, whatever. Even if it's by modern standards, but they should be killed. I mean,
that's why I hate moderate religious people more than extremist religious people, because at least extremist religious people have some consistency to their position. We believe that this book is from God, and we're going to obey it. But this guy is like, I'm just going to cherry pick and believe what I want to believe, and use it to be an intolerant bigot when it, when that's what I want to do. And then other times I'll say, oh, well, no, I don't have to follow this rule or that rule.
Nearly every religious person is a personal religious person. It's like the elements I like, these are the parts of what I follow, and the parts I don't like, I just either admit or pretend I just don't know about them, or I'm truly just ignorant of them.
Or they're just symbolic, or that's not what the Bible really meant. If you look at this other context,
well,
or passage,
but that's ridiculous to say that's not what the Bible really meant, because you're basically saying that the Word of God can be an error then, or can be misinterpreted.
It's like feminists to identify as Muslim. To me, it's like, okay, there's passages in the book that clearly and explicitly state that women are not worth as much as men.
Yeah,
so you can't possibly
submit to the will of men.
Being a feminist Muslim
So
is
does
like
the Bible.
being a Jewish
Yep.
Nazi. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, the Bible,
Unless you don't really unless you just view the holy book as like, well, this is just some flawed piece of shit that, there's a kernel of truth in there, but really.
But that's the basis of your religion, so how could you view it that
Right,
way?
that's what I'm saying. So there's no logical way to reconcile progressive viewpoints with archaic religious texts that are very regressive and condemn anyone who is, a woman or gay or anything that religious people don't like.
Or as we've seen recently, insult their prophet.
Oh, yeah.
You want to move on from Hillbilly Jim here?
Sure.
All right. This video is entitled, Why Atheists Are Stupid. It's like a kindergarten insult.
Atheists are dirty and dumb.
They're poop
Atheists
heads.
are a bunch of poo-poo faces.
Yeah.
Atheists eat poo.
Alright, so a message to all the atheists out there.
You're stupid.
Atheists in the house!
It's getting pretty popular. I mean, like, a lot of people out there are atheists nowadays. Like,
oh, no.
It's just like, I don't know. I guess it's because, like, nowadays, like, being smart is cool, and because atheism it
Being
revolves around,
smart
like,
is cool.
I look at it as a religion that revolves, like, the answer to everything is what science says.
Atheism is not a religion. You're an idiot. Look up the definition of atheism before you make these kinds of videos. Like, I'm so sick of this argument.
It's like so many people like today
want to be smart.
They think like smart is like
Want to use their
cool, and,
brain.
like, science is like basically science is a religion.
Hey Ben, like, do you value intelligence, Ben? Because it's so lame.
It's like not cool at all.
Like being smart is actually like overrated.
That, like, would be, like, the more intelligent people. But anyway, some of the points against it, a lot of you have no idea what the fuck you are talking about. Like,
right.
There's
Good thing we're not playing a drinking game, a drinking game.
Oh God,
we'd all be dead already. You would just not stop. You just grab a bottle of whiskey, and the entire time this kid's talking, just glug.
some points against it that are pretty valid. The biggest two are that Holocaust was a result of it, and it was. I'll prove that in a second.
No.
And that
there was a
it and
Christian.
communism go together.
Okay.
So
stop there. All right. So like, read Mein Kampf. There's plenty of references in Mein Kampf to Hitler saying that God accepts what he's doing. God approves of Hitler's crusade to rid the world of the Jews.
Yep.
Hitler made numerous speeches where he invoked God. Nazi soldiers had belt buckles that said God with us. The first treaty that the Nazis actually signed was with the Catholic Church, which maybe you don't think they're true Christians, whatever, but they're God-fearing, whatever. They believe in Jesus. They accept that as their savior. And actually they were like, maybe not the very first church, but the first big church and the most dominant church throughout history.
Still are.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think there's any basis for saying that the Holocaust was caused by atheism. As for communism, there is a little bit more of a connection there, but really communism itself was sort of a religious and dogmatic ideal where the state became God, or whoever the figurehead was became God. If it's Stalin, then, oh, well, Stalin is our great leader.
Oh, yeah, Stalin and Pol Pot and Mao, we're all going to hear they're all atheists, and they did it, in the name of atheism.
Or like North Korea, where they basically do worship their leaders as gods.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Basically, religious impulses have not so much been extinguished in those societies.
They've been redirected.
They've just been repurposed into obedience to a totalitarian state.
Let's start off with the Holocaust. So basically, like, the reason why Hitler did what he did, which is kind of interesting, like, it's kind of hard to grasp, like, what would go through someone's mind to actually, like, do something that horrific.
The evidence of how hard it is to grasp is that you're talking about it and you actually do not grasp it.
Yeah.
And the reason why, like, that was about the time when genetics were being, like, discovered and, like, how it works. And
let's talk about eugenics now.
What else? Oh, yeah, how...
What else?
Darwinism. How that happened. And basically what we knew is that before, like, civilization, there were different tribes. And, like, each tribe, like, would be, like, basically a different race. Like,
and these, like, tribe would,
like, if
be,
you
like,
took
a different
one
race
tribe
and
then you, like...
Okay.
Like,
put a rival tribe next to it.
I want to say
they would
also
have, like, sort
that
of,
another factor with religion and the Holocaust is that for many, many centuries before the Holocaust happened, the Catholic Church and
and the leaders of Europe, the kings,
and really the king
promoted anti-Semitism.
They promoted anti-Semitism very strongly.
Yeah, Jews were moneylenders. They had undesirable jobs. They would throw all the Jews out of their kingdoms, like the Spanish did it.
Yeah, and basically Jews were constantly a scapegoat for social ills.
Yeah, of course.
If your society is crumbling, oh no, it's not the king's fault. You know who it really is those damn Jews.
Yeah, expel them from the kingdom.
Is it true that the Passion of the Christ was originally like a play or something to invoke anti-Semitism?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. That's what
and actually, I mean, if you watch the movie that Mel Gibson made, I would say that it's not changed much. That was a pretty anti-Semitic movie.
It's just a little bit more veiled.
A little bit,
but it's still pretty clear. Like, you see the Jews kind of like, yeah, kill Jesus.
It's a bunch of stereotypical, like, hook-nosed, greedy-looking Jews, like, kill the Jesus.
Jesus defies us.
It's
like,
simple.
Maybe,
kill the Jews.
Similar genetics, but kind of different. And they would kill each other over who would pass on the genetics. And, like, if you take
nonsense.
1 point
Ben.
on, like...
this is has
no idea what he's talking about.
This
He's a
is, like,
moron.
so far beneath even the level of stupidity that's acceptable here.
This is incoherent at this point. It's just going all over the place. It doesn't make any sense. I think we should just move on.
I think we've already addressed whatever points he could conceivably make in this shoddy attempt at a video.
Should I play a Brett Keane video next?
Go ahead. If it pleases the court.
This is Brett Keane.
I learned you'll told.
Subscribe,
Please
comment, and rate.
subscribe to my blog.
Atheists can never win a debate, no matter what they do, no matter what they try, no matter what they say, no matter how much they cry.
Stop.
It's a poem. I wonder if he wrote it.
I can't. This is so. Brett Keane is now a low-rent Dr. Seuss. Who's writing
This
a
is so
he's writing a
sad.
poem about how atheists can't win a debate.
What is their obsession with like winning a debate?
Right.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't even matter.
I challenge you to a moderated debate, amazing
That's what they wanted. They almost wanted. They want a debate in front of an audience. Everyone raise their hand if you think G-Man won. I vote for G-Man.
So first of all, I'll just give you an example here. Look. Christopher Hitchens debated Tony Blair. They took an audience poll before and after the debate to see how the audience felt about the position of like religion's a force for good. More people at the beginning, more people said religion was a force for good than believed it at the end because Christopher Hitchens had won the debate. There was another debate where it was Christopher Hitchens and Stephen Fry versus two Catholics, one of whom was like a major cardinal. And they had a thing that was basically, is the Catholic Church a force for good in the world? And more people said it was before the debate than after the debate because the atheists won the debate. They convinced more people. And then if you just go through YouTube and watch debates, like I watched a debate just yesterday. It was Lawrence Krauss versus some Muslim. I don't remember. And then I watched another one that was actually Lawrence Krauss versus, oh God, what's that dubious creationist fuck?
Yeah, what, Psi 10?
No. Psi 10 is not a creationist.
Oh no, not the guy that makes the animations. Like Psi 10 Bruggencade or whatever.
I've never heard of that person.
Oh,
no, this was a. I'll remember his name later, but I've watched so many atheist Christian and atheist Muslim debates on YouTube, and I've seen ones where I think that a better job could have been done by the atheists, but I've never really seen a debate where I was sitting there saying, you know what, the atheists clearly lost this debate. And even if they had, I wouldn't attribute that to, well, the atheist obviously had the less true ideas. I would attribute it to, well, the atheist obviously was not as good of a rhetorician, because a debate is really a contest of rhetoric.
No matter where they run, no matter where they hide, atheist and atheism will simply die.
It doesn't really rhyme.
There's no Pascal's wager here, ladies and gentlemen. If there isn't a God, then every atheist on this planet.
So I have a question. If he's trying to be like this big Christian, why does he have like flames engulfing him? And why is he like wearing like a black, like everything about him is like, he's almost trying to like convey like this ambience of evil.
it's almost like the great and powerful Oz or something like that.
Right,
The
like
floating head.
He's almost presenting himself in like a very like satanic context where he's wearing like this black hood and he's got this echo effect on his voice and there's flames in front of him, but he's saying like God is good.
Yeah, he put your name in the title of this video.
Brett Keaton's burning in hell.
For heat death from the universe crashing, imploding in on itself. If the atheist is right,
Wait,
then
that's not heat death though. Heat death is not the universe imploding on itself. Heat death is the universe ripping
Contracting.
itself apart.
Yeah, and it's when it stops expanding and starts going back.
Sounds to me like you're attacking his family.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
he is simply an unextraordinary
Well, no,
bottle
like
of Windex chemicals
heat death, it never contracts. It just
awaiting
keeps
to
going
be
until it
spilled.
like basically rips
Nothing
itself
more,
Oh, I thought you were
nothing
talking
less.
about something else.
It's supposed to. I mean, like the prevailing model is. I mean, like no one really knows, but
Yeah.
the prevailing model is that it rips itself apart even on the atomic level to the point because there's like it's the end result of total entropy basically. But that's many trillions of years from now. So
Objective morals and ethics. The atheist doesn't stand a chance according to his worldview, according to his structure and imaginary value system. If God believers are right, whether it be Muslim, Christians, Jews, pagans, deists,
Okay, then how do you know?
or all
How do you know which
above
one's right?
at the same time, the same God, just different culture, different languages, speaking
can
of
you
their
prove
own
that?
perception of the same one true God.
You know, this is just ridiculous. Oh, well, maybe they're all right. Maybe one of them is right. Well, how do you know? And how can you just say, oh, well, it's just a different way to worship God, you know? You even include deists, like, which are like, that doesn't even make sense to include deists. Like, because if they acknowledge there's a God, it does not interested in
Yeah.
anything with us.
deists would be closer to atheists than to theists, really, because the God they believe in is inconsequential to human existence. Ben is dying. Ben is dead.
Ben's dead.
You need an exorcism, Ben.
Yes.
The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
Okay, I'm better.
Okay, good. Ben's good now.
Thank you, power of Christ, for compelling me.
It compelled him to be well.
Oh, you know what?
How many subs does this channel have?
7.
Really?
Something like that. Or maybe like 200 at the most. I don't
Why
know.
does
he disables the ratings? He claims that atheists use bots and shit like that.
It doesn't. Why would we need bots
to downrate his videos
Brett
and
Keane,
shit?
I have a serious question for Brett Keane. Why do you keep making the same stupid shit over and over again? Like, obviously, you know, you're insane because you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting results. You false flag people. You lie. You're a duplicitous person, even to people like you're aligned with. Like, just you really should just give it up. I mean, like, I hate to say that to anyone, but like, he really is a hopeless case. And he's not even entertaining. I mean, furthermore, I mean, like, you can say it's subjective, but he's really not. I mean, just this terrible poem, these terrible effects, you know, the 1 millionth fucking Brett Keane channel, which we know after 3 months either she's gonna fucking shut it down or YouTube is.
You weren't here the last time we played one of his videos. He was like, well, I know TJ can't debate me alone because he needs like 10 people.
What?
It's also because he's not smart enough to run his channel by himself. Or his podcast or whatever.
You know what, Brett Keane? I'm sure TJ would be happy to debate you one-on-one.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want to come on, I mean, would you do it, TJ, one-on-one?
I'll be quiet the whole time.
Yeah, we won't say anything, Brett Keane. If you're so afraid of us jumping in, we will say nothing because we just love to. Because we don't even need to jump in. TJ can rip you to shreds by himself.
Dude, not only that, I'll tell you what, I'll go one further. I will get so obliviatedly drunk that I can barely think straight, and I will still whoop your ass in a
There you go, Butt Keane.
The Butt King. Okay, so this next video, it's a really short video. It's a story about a pastor, and he got mad at a kid named Ben.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so this can be the new meme, because it has my name in it.
Let's see.
Beat Ben.
Let's see if it's a meme.
There was a young man in Calgary. His name was Ben. And I was running
Calgary.
YouTube. I was there for a few years. And he was a nice kid, but he was one of those kids that was always he's a real smart aleck. Was a bright kid, which didn't help things, right? Made him more dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't want bright kids in Christianity.
I love that.
Yeah, I know.
He was a bright kid, which makes him dangerous. Intelligence is scary. Fear smart people. Fear them.
Outside one day, youth group, and he was just trying to push my buttons, and he was just, kind of not taking the Lord serious.
So I punched him.
I can't believe that someone was asking questions of religion.
Have you seen this before, TJ?
No.
It's funny because you just predicted exactly what he did.
Really?
Yeah.
And I walked over to him, and I went, bam! I punched him in the chest as hard as I crumpled the kid.
What?
Well,
it's like, yeah, youth group. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the laws in Canada are, but I'm pretty sure that's not allowed.
I'm pretty sure. Not only is it not allowed,
I'm pretty sure he should
it's
not.
not
have that
even
position.
theologically sound.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the Bible that says punch those who disagree with you.
Well, not only that, most famously, they say their savior is Jesus Christ, who was a pacifist.
Well, no, I mean, most Christians will argue vehemently against the idea that Jesus was a pacifist today.
He wasn't a pacifist
because he
in the
freaked
sense-
out in the temple.
Yeah, they'll say that, and then they'll bring up a few more verses of like, well, he was a pacifist when he came to Earth, but when he comes back, he's going to be like, a war god, basically, and all that. So,
Well, how do they know?
Because it says in Revelations, or Revelations is written in such a way where you could have almost any interpretation of it. So,
But I mean, whether or not you even agree with that, okay? If you,
but I mean, the Bible says turn the other cheek. Like if someone strikes you on one cheek, you're supposed to turn the other cheek to them so they could strike that as well. I mean, you're not supposed to be like, oh well, I'm going to punch the shit out of people for Jesus.
I just crumpled him, and I leaned over and I said, Ben, when are you going to stop playing games with God?
Fuck.
I led that man to the Lord right there.
I learned my lesson that day.
Yeah. Ben, was this the story about you, man?
Yeah, it was, apparently. I don't even remember it. He hit me so hard.
There you go.
Yeah. I got wrecked.
Hey, Ben. Boom! Jesus, man.
Stop playing games with God. fine.
Stop playing games with God, Ben.
Oh, my boobie.
Stop playing games with God, Ben.
All right. Next one. Gail. Brent Spiner clone speaks about Gail Cord Schuler. Yeah.
I am going to prove that Brent Spiner has a clone. And this isn't going to convince everybody, because a lot of people are under just
I don't think it's going to convince anyone.
except for herself.
Well, she's already convinced.
with brain control or genuine bona fide Jesuits
what about the crew of the Church of Yale, though?
themselves are going to contradict me. But you know, Brent Spiner in 2008 in a Dave Rabbit radio interview said something like this. He said, my girlfriend, he's referring to Laurie McBride, I call her that because we could never think of anything else to call each other since we're not married. We've been together forever. She really gets irritated with me if there's even a hint of being surly. You know, if somebody comes up and says something nice to me or recognizes me, she really has no patience with me rolling my eyes or anything. She doesn't get it. I like being an actor, but being a celebrity is a whole other thing. You never get quite used to being treated as if you're something special.
Wow. Oh, and by the way, I saw Zach Knight in the chat room earlier today while I was getting the show ready.
Good.
Yep. Zach Knight,
Did
the Antichrist.
Did our leader have any pronouncements for us?
Oh, yeah. I can't reveal those on the air, but of course.
Well, sure.
Of course.
Should have told us.
She really doesn't have any patience for that whatsoever, and she lectures me and says, you should be really happy that people recognize you. And the Jesuits are claiming that Brent Spiner has made willing and knowing love from 1994 to now, this is what they put on all their Jesuit websites, to a publicist? Yeah, Laurie McBride claims to be a publicist. You know what?
That's Brent Spiner's real-life girlfriend that she's talking about.
So
Laurie McBride.
Obviously, totally jealous.
It's never been the Jesuits that have tried to convince me of that. It's just reality. I never remember hearing from a Jesuit, Brent Spiner is dating Laurie McBride and has been since 1994.
Yeah.
Like, I've never, it's never been a Jesuit that tried to convince me of that, you know?
It was a Jesuit.
You know what's really weird, too, is, like, Brent Spiner is no longer really a relevant celebrity.
Not really,
I
no.
mean, like, no one really gives a shit about him at this point.
Outside of a Star Trek convention.
Oh, bullshit. If you saw Brent Spiner on the street, you'd be like, holy shit, that's Brent Spiner.
And there'd be, like, teenage girls running after him, like,
Yeah.
Brent Spiner!
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, so you have to be, if to be a celebrity, there has to be teenage girls running after you? Is that the fucking criteria?
That's not the criteria. We're saying, though, is that a mainstream celebrity at this point would be mobbed down the street. That much people like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Brent Spiner would, outside of the Star Trek community, it's very unlikely. People like, oh, were you on Star Trek?
Also, he's aged to the point at this point where a lot of people probably wouldn't recognize him.
That's what I'm saying.
I would recognize Data's face anywhere.
Oh, whatever, TJ.
I'm not even. This is you guys.
He's not a big time celebrity, is what we're saying.
He is,
Right.
There's not a bigger celebrity.
Name the last film he was in.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Oh,
fuck
okay.
you, TJ.
He was in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Star Trek.
Star Trek The Next Generation, I think, the first season was, like 87, and the last one was, like...
93.
Oh, well, I didn't know it had been that long. That's ancient history now.
It's been over 20 years.
People still watch this fucking show. It's on Netflix.
Of course, we watch it all the time.
There's fucking teenagers that are like fucking 13 years old that are familiar with fucking Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Of course.
It's timeless, goddammit. Brent Spiner will never be not a huge star, even to the day he dies.
Yeah, when Brent Spiner dies, TJ is going to commit seppuku.
I would say out of most of the Star Trek actors, Patrick Stewart is one of the few that emerged and was able to still get work.
Oh yeah, he's definitely like mainstream.
He's not like stuck in Star Trek.
No.
You know, like Star Trek limbo, like a lot of them are. So anyway, we'll go on with Gail here.
Why?
Publicists are. They're concerned with public opinion. No legally valid public document records indicate that Brent Spiner is married to Laurie McBride. So why all these Jesuit websites that claim they're married? The real Brent Spiner, not his clone, does not feel he's married to Laurie. And if you click on the link right underneath this video,
That's crazy.
You will see, you can hear the actual, what I just read, you can hear what Brent said. Now, there is a YouTube video that's made the rounds entitled Brent Spiner Talks About Gail Cord Schuler, and on that video, that's the one of the Brent Spiner clone. You know how we know that?
Yeah, the video of Brent Spiner getting asked if he knows who she is and him basically saying she's crazy as fuck. That's not the real Brent Spiner. That's the Jesuit clone Brent Spiner.
The Jesuits, they're very crafty.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me that they pay so much attention to Brent Spiner, you know?
By the way, TJ, you were mentioning to me the other day that the Church of Gale Facebook is just like exploding. Like it's a new religious movement, basically.
Well,
all of a sudden, out of nowhere, how did that happen?
I don't know, but it's not an actual. There's a Facebook group called Church of Gale that is. It's not a real tribute to her. It's like a parody where people are like kind of adding their own like. People are taking what Gale said and like running with it and adding shit to it.
Aren't they like releasing the specs of the starship and all?
Oh
that?
yeah. They're talking about what the Church of Gale's specs are and all kinds of stuff. You know, they're getting shit figured out over there. So this could be a new religion at some point.
Yeah.
Because this is what he says.
For all we know, 2,000 years from now, people will be worshiping Gale Cord Schuler as a prophet.
Somebody asked him about me. He says, well, you know, nobody here knows what you're talking about. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm so hot, man. And she's a little nobody.
Hold on. That's not even how he said it. The way he said it was more like, I really don't want to talk about this because I'm really uncomfortable.
Right.
So he was trying to basically like downplay it for that reason. It wasn't like I'm hot shit.
He's uncomfortable with your fucking decade-long obsession and stalking of him. I'm sure he probably wishes you would just go away. Unfortunately, probably until you're dead, it's probably not going to happen.
Right.
Brent Spiner doesn't feel that way. He's a humble, down-to-earth guy.
Yes, he does. He stated so
publicly. And you can listen to the whole Dave Rabbit interview of Brent Spiner at my website or at the link below.
I'm sure he is a nice guy, but you know what? He's not doesn't want to be nice to you because you keep fucking stalking and intruding on his personal life. Leave him alone, you fucking nutcase.
Low. And you can see that the personality of the real Brent Spiner is in stark contrast to this Brent Spiner who showed up at Star Trek.
This is just your perception because you're crazy. You need mental help.
Brent Spiner is kind of a smug motherfucker.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Even if he is, he doesn't deserve this.
Brent Spiner is not. I mean, she's talking about like, oh, he's so humble and stuff. Like Brent Spiner is not humble.
I saw one where he literally told this lady like, stop asking me these questions. I've been answering them for like the last 20 years, or even longer. He doesn't even like
keeping it real.
He doesn't even like to be asked Star Trek related questions because he's been asked pretty much every question you can imagine.
I think unless he's at the convention, I can understand. If he goes to a convention and he says that, it's like, dude, you're at a fucking Star Trek convention.
Right.
Shut up. You know what I mean? But like, if he's in public and someone's like, oh, I can understand him being like, fuck off.
The lady was the one interview I saw was, I think it was at like a Comic-Con or Star Trek convention, and they asked him, how did you get the role of Data? He's like, because I gave the best audition. Like that kind of answer.
Right.
I mean, well, in that respect, they just being an asshole.
Right.
I mean,
sure.
But I mean, like,
But I mean, that's just kind of how he is. I mean,
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, he should be how he wants to be. I mean, that's fine. I mean, if he's an asshole, hey.
Right. Right, but he's not this humble motherfucker.
No, the point is that Brent Spiner is like a smug, arrogant douchebag. He's not like
Mr. Nice Guy.
He's
Okay.
this humble, nice guy that would never act like this.
Yeah, I really don't know much about him outside the show.
Convention at
I just don't give a shit. That's just his personal
Canada.
life.
I forget, Vancouver, Canada, and and he said, well,
But I mean, what the fuck are you really going to ask Brent Spiner about other than Star Trek?
What about that classic movie he was in, Out to Sea, with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon?
He was also in
Independence Day.
Yeah.
He had like really long hair.
He was the villain in some movie too, and he kept farting. I don't remember what movie that was.
He was in Out to Sea. He was the villain in that one. I'm not sure if that's the one you mean.
I don't think so.
Okay.
well, he kind of says like he's really stuck on himself. Nobody here knows what you're talking about except for you. And then he has this look on his face like he's glad this question came up because this is his chance to show how famous he is and how proud he is of that, which is so different from the real Brent. And what a no. So I'd be glad
She's
to
totally misreading his emotions during this answer, because he was the entire time I got the impression of him being like extremely uncomfortable and not even wanting to talk about that at all.
She's basically putting what she wants into it,
And
she's projecting onto him what she wants to say.
Even Marina Sirtis made a comment almost indicating that she knew about it too. She was like, "I'm calling the FBI." So,
can you really blame them?
And
privately about
Ben
that.
had like young boy fantasies about Marina Sirtis, like coming into his bedroom and shit and disrobing. And
yeah, I did.
Teaching him.
He's like, I have some problems, Cancer Troy.
Yeah.
Cancer Troy. I'm the goddess of empathy. Yeah.
Read my mind.
Sure.
Oh, man, you're going to the what was that dude's name?
Lieutenant Barkley.
Barkley, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, because he always had fantasies about her in the
And
show.
he would do the he would go on the holodeck and like,
oh yeah,
because he had no confidence in real life, but he'd go on the holodeck and then all of a sudden, Counselor Troy's wanting to fuck his brains out. He also had some weird thing about spanking Wesley Crusher. So
did he?
That's pretty awesome, actually.
There was like
You're a naughty Wesley.
Wesley was there. And I think his like mom was also there. They were like all Victorian garbed and shit.
You know he was banging holograms too. They just didn't show that.
Yeah, well, it was heavily implied.
Right.
But then there was like, behave, Wesley, or Master Barkley will give you a spanking. And it's like, I kind of said that like,
what the hell's going on?
why
here?
is that part of the program?
Why is Wesley a part of the program, period?
Right. Let alone a spanking recipient. That's just, I don't know.
We were laughing about this the other day.
If it was like, Master Barkley will come decapitate you, I'd be like, okay, well, that makes sense.
That's good. Let's get on with that, please.
Chop Wesley's fucking head off.
Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton is the only Star Trek cast member that knows who TJ is.
And he hates TJ.
And he hates TJ.
Well, you don't.
It's mutual. The feeling is mutual.
We don't. I hated him first.
That's true.
Because before I was even the Amazing Atheist, I hated Will Wheaton's fucking retarded ass.
We need
for
to find
ruining,
something
like, the
that
first
Will Wheaton
two
is going
seasons.
to, so you can walk up to him like some autograph thing and be like, "You were the worst." Like we can feel like you were the worst Star Trek character of all time. You're an annoying human being. You're a piece of shit, and just go on this list of how terrible he is.
He was in Star Trek Nemesis. But they cut his scene. He's at Riker and Counselor Troy's wedding at the beginning of the movie. And they fucking cut his scene. They brought him in and filmed it and everything and cut his scene. It's pretty crazy.
I agree with that artistic
It was
decision.
like 20 seconds, you know.
Still.
It's
That
funny.
20 seconds would have ruined that already terrible movie.
Yeah, this would have made that would have made it like go from like a fucking 4 to like a 1.
You know, I think Brent Spiner was one of the head writers of Nemesis too. Pretty sure about that. Yeah, isn't that weird? It all comes back full circle. It might have been Brett Spiner's
Didn't Jonathan
clone.
Frakes direct that one too?
He directed a few of them, but I don't know about that one.
I know he directed First Contact.
Yeah, he directed First Contact.
And I know,
but that's one of the better ones.
I know he directed Insurrection too, though.
Insurrection's one of the worst ones.
Yeah, Insurrection
is the worst Next Generation one.
I would say I don't know. I would almost say it's the worst Star Trek movie. Would you say that's the worst, or would you say the
Final Frontier?
What would God need with a starship?
Yeah, Spock has a brother that we've never heard of until now. All of a sudden,
it's Spock's evil twin that we never mentioned.
Right?
He's not really a twin.
No.
But, you know.
Yeah, but yeah,
it's the evil twin trope, though, which they brought back for Data, but at least that was established early on.
We've kind of just like gone off on a Star Trek tangent, but I think it's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We're actually saying anything of substance, anyways.
You want to just move on from this?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think
it's funny because you're going to regret moving on.
Am I? Is it the Vigilant Christian? It's the Vigilant Christian. Fuck you.
Illuminati in the house.
Yeah.
I'm not even participating.
The Vigilant Christian. Illuminati's coming for you.
Vigilant Christian Mario, and you're here for another edition of Illuminati Media Exposed. In today's video, I wanted to show you that in very popular video games, even old ones like Zelda, there has been Illuminati symbols placed in them for a long time. So in this video here today, we're going to look at specifically Zelda and Illuminati symbolism.
I think he's running out of ideas. I think he's like grasping at straws at this point.
I am
Dude,
an Illuminati Freemason.
Every single fucking video that he ever makes, is just this popular thing that's socially relevant is Illuminati and satanic. Here's why. Bullshit,
the
bullshit,
Triforce is a
bullshit, bullshit,
triangle.
bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Then the next video. Here's why this popular
wait.
and socially penetrating thing is Illuminati
Maybe,
satanic.
maybe he makes a
Here's
good
why.
point. Maybe-
Bullshit, 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 bullshit,
Come on,
bullshit,
TJ, you haven't
bullshit,
even heard
bullshit.
it yet. Come
Bullshit.
on.
Oh, okay. Well, here's what it's going to be.
So let's get right into it.
There's
now, obviously,
fucking Illuminati symbols hidden in vague places throughout the Zelda games, and then he's gonna. He's barely. I mean, it'll probably take him like an hour before he even gets to that. First, he'll go off on some unrelated bullshit tangent that has nothing to do with anything that takes like fucking 10 hours, and then finally he'll like throw some Zelda shit in at the end, and then that'll be the video.
the picture you can see is an obvious sign of the Illuminati
Obvious.
eye inside of the
It's
pyramid.
obvious.
And there's a lot more.
If you're a
symbolism
moron,
than
it's
that.
obvious.
You will see.
Holy shit, the Triforce is a triangle.
Triforce,
Wow.
which is this symbol here is in fact
Anything
really the
triangular is
Illuminati
evil.
eye. That's what it is.
They are
and,
Freemasons
they show
or
you
they are
that
Taz?
in the game. It is worshipped. Here you see.
Oh, wow, it's worshipped.
People bowing down and worshiping a
on,
glowing
Mario, you know you wanna
Illuminati
be Illuminati.
pyramid, and it says,
Just join the
"Faced
club,
by
buddy."
an onslaught of evil, the people could do nothing but appeal
One
to the
of
gods."
us. One
so
of
you
us.
see in the game here, they are appealing to the gods because the gods are going to save them
You're
from
right with the gods, Mario.
So they can't make up fictional gods in their story.
That's what he does when there's supposed evil in the world, is he makes appeals to God.
Right.
So the fictional people in this realm can't appeal to their fucking completely, admittedly fictional gods, but he can worship his fictional god and claim that it's not fiction.
I think he's right.
What a load of fucking shit.
As part of the Illuminati, I can say he's totally right about this.
Vigilant Christian.
Why are you giving
Mario.
away all your secrets now, Scotty?
Well, I mean,
we're tired of hiding.
We're tired of hiding.
The Illuminati are tired of living in the closet. Yes, Zelda is satanic Illuminati. We admit it. Let's move on.
Yeah, I agree. I don't care about the Vigilant Christian.
Everything here is.
We've already covered his bullshit.
It's all
so
the
many
same.
times.
It's all the same. Every video he makes is the same.
Yeah, I feel like we're just watching the same thing with just like, hey, it's this popular thing, so more people can get pissed off. Hey, Zelda fans, you're all Illuminati and satanic and evil, and you're all going.
I was
to hell.
looking at the Vigilant Christian's Facebook page recently, and he was showing how YouTube sent him one of those little awards that you never got.
Oh, the 100,000.
Yeah.
They instituted that after. Now it's only 100,000.
Well, what about when he hit 500,000?
They don't do it. They do it for 100,000. They do it for 1 million.
Well, I want my million.
When we hit 100,000, we'll get it too.
Better get it. Why is there favoritism here? I think it's garbage.
The Drunken Peasants deserves 100,000 subscribers. Go subscribe to the Drunken Peasants channel.
Yeah, they slowed us the fuck down. We were like poised to hit 100,000 pretty quickly.
YouTube is a bunch of cunts.
I don't think it was YouTube that did it. I think it was the false flagging against us that did it. Just YouTube is kind of an impenetrable wall. But once we finally really talked to someone at YouTube, it was resolved pretty quickly.
All right, let's watch more of this bullshit, I guess.
You want to watch more?
A little bit more.
All right.
Is the gods going to send? Well, the gods are going to send the hero of time who can save them. And really what this is nothing more than the promotion of the Antichrist. Here you see...
Link is the Antichrist?
Link is the Antichrist.
I didn't see that coming.
I actually like that better. He's the Antichrist. So Ganondorf is actually good.
Right. It's kind of like the Star Wars prequels where the antagonist is actually the good guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Link, he's described as the hero of time. Now, Satan, the Antichrist, when he appears, is going to deceive mankind. He's not going to come as some Hitler type of tyrannical leader. In fact, he will probably overcome a leader like that, someone that they put up to be overcame by the light bearer, the one who brings freedom, salvation, the one who will deceive the world and have Christ-likeness. He will be... to the world, someone who represents light and truth, but he's not. He's a deception. So you see, even in the video game here, they are promoting the Antichrist and the worship of that system, the calling on the hero of time.
Look, even if
communism.
Even if I was a fundamentalist Christian and I totally accepted the idea that all this stuff is true, I mean, like the stuff about the Antichrist and that's what's going to happen, even then, these videos would be such a tremendous and incredible stretch that I would not be able to take them seriously. So even if I bought into all the religious bullshit, it would still be ridiculous to say, oh, well, Link is symbolic of the Antichrist. How the fuck do you know? You're saying, oh, well, you know, the Antichrist is going to be presented as a hero. Well, you know what? Most of our stories are about heroes. So you can say that about any hero. You can say, oh, well, this is just, you know, they're just preparing us for the Antichrist. That's why they're saying that this guy is such a hero that's going to save everybody. You know, Samurai Jack, he's the Antichrist. He's trying to save the fucking world. Superman, Luke Skywalker, fucking, you know, the Avengers, any fucking buddy. They're all false heroes. They're all false gods. They're all preparing us to accept the rule of the Antichrist. No, they're just stories.
How would this make us accept it? You know.
By the way, if the Antichrist is supposed to be like some good light-bringing kind of force or a deception of one, then wouldn't people trust them inherently anyway, regardless of whether or not they played fucking Legend of Zelda? I'm just so sick of this moronic motherfucker who makes the exact same video every fucking time. There's no difference between any fucking video he's ever made. Every video is the exact same fucking thing.
No. There's one video that he made, and that was the one calling you a loser and saying, you know, he got laid all the time. That was his only different video.
That's got to be his best video because at least he fucking broke his formula and branched out into something fucking else. I mean, anyone who subscribes to this and watches this and has any sort of respect on any level for this is just a mental invalid, and we need to just pull the plug on these people. They're never going to contribute anything of value to the world. Just die. You're useless. You're a fucking sucker and a sap from the word go. Just fuck off. You're not any use to the world. Die, die, die. You stupid fucks, die. So that's how I feel. Move on.
P.S. Die.
Until next time.
No. Unless he comes on the show.
Which we know he won't.
Because he's a pussy.
All right, so now we got actual news segments.
Why?
Okay, let's see here. So here's a news segment where a guy who's kind of been a anti-police activist or anti-police violence protester, they put him in scenarios that police go through to see how he would react.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Tonight at 9, he is one of the most outspoken critics of police use of force here in the Valley. But he gets some on-the-job training about use of force tonight.
Very interesting stuff. Reverend Jarrett Maupin led protests and marches after Phoenix police shot and killed an unarmed man. Well, tonight he gets a chance to experience the split-second decisions that police have to make when encountering a suspect.
And our
All right.
Troy Hayden was right along with him tonight getting the training as well. This must have been eye-opening.
It's a really interesting experience. You know, we've all watched those protests all over the country after police officers are accused of shooting people who aren't armed. But what would happen if one of those protesters felt what it's like to wear a badge and then be put in a life-or-death situation himself?
You don't know what it's like.
Okay, well, if someone's like literally charging at you and you have a gun and they're not stopping, it's kind of a different matter than most of these fucking police videos that people have been protesting against.
Yeah, I mean, there's a clear-cut difference. I mean,
like,
if a cop shoots someone that pulls a gun on them and people are like, you know, are protesting that, I'm like, well, you guys are morons.
Right, like, I support most of the anti-police protests, but there was one incident that happened at a gas station where someone actually did draw a gun on a cop and they got shot, and some protesters protested it, and I said, you know what, those protesters are a bunch of fucking morons.
Was that in Ferguson?
It was near Ferguson. It was after the initial incident, of course, which I think actually did deserve protest. But
yeah, of course.
But you know, if someone actually draws a gun and poses a threat, and the cop shoots him, you know, what choice did the cop really even fucking have? I'm not even.
I mean, the arguments in those situations were like, oh, could they shot him in the leg? Could they have tased him? It's like, look, you know, bullshit. But I mean, we're not talking about those circumstances. We're talking about unarmed people.
What I'm talking about is like a cop pulls like 2 feet away from a kid with a toy gun and just shoots him without even fucking saying a word. I'm talking about, you know, a guy's just standing on the street corner, you know, asking to be left alone, and a cop comes behind him and chokes him and throws him to the ground.
Oh, you're drinking or you're doing some minor offense.
Or, you know, some guy's just walking down the street and a cop decides they're going to tackle him into a fucking wall and paralyze him.
The reason that happens in New York is it's basically because policing strategy. It's like, and the theory is if we target all this low-level stuff, we'll prevent major crime. But even cities, I think it's called shattered glass or shattered windows or something. And in other cities that haven't done that, the drop in violent crime has still happened. So I think in New York, it's really just this policy of let's just arrest a bunch of people to make it look like the police are really doing something. And support this giant police force, which it seems like they don't even need, especially with the police slowdown. But
too
So
much
I'm
cop.
gonna have you put the holster on right inside your belt loop there.
Jarrett Maupin gets his weapon. You might recognize him as a high-profile organizer in the minority community. Just last month, he led marches on Phoenix Police headquarters after an officer shot an unarmed man.
We want his badge. We want his gun. We want his job.
Today, he accepted an invitation to look at things from the other side, agreeing to go through a force-on-force training session with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. 3 scenarios where you have to decide to shoot or not shoot. Scenario 1 is a call about a man casing cars in a parking lot.
I like how they covered the guy's face so that
I guess they must have like paintball bullets or something in there.
Maupin approaches the man and starts asking questions.
What? Wave your hand in your
You're looking for your vehicle. What kind of car do you drive?
Wave your hand in your gun.
What kind of car do you drive?
This is my car, man.
Oh. Maupin, the officer, is shot. It happens that fast.
At what time did you think that it was time?
Was the gun just on the back of the car there? I mean, where'd the gun even come from in that scenario?
No idea.
I mean, I guess he could have pulled. He went behind the car and pulled it out of his pocket or something.
That's probably what they're implying. Like, or it was in the back of the car, or he had it in his.
I mean,
pocket
like
or something.
that could happen to anybody, though. It's like, oh well, if you're a cop, this is going to happen. I mean, there's actually a very low number of cops that are shot and killed each year.
Yeah.
Compared to like the danger, the supposed dangerousness of the job. But I mean, like that could happen to me. I could be walking down the street and someone could just be like, "There's a gun! I'm gonna kill you!" Boom, 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 boom. Like, I don't really see the relevance of the scenario. Like, it's like, okay, this whole experiment is just weird because like we're gonna put you in scenarios where you're pretty much forced to use force against someone, and then we're gonna say that proves that cops are always justified in using force.
They kind of give you a bullshit moral, too, at the end here about, like, well, this just shows you should do this, and I'll wait till they get to that to point that out.
Okay.
For you to address the use of force that was given.
When he came to the back of the vehicle and was hiding, I could sense something was wrong.
Scenario 2, a call of 2 men fighting.
What's going on today, gentlemen?
What's wrong with you?
What's going on today, gentlemen?
What do you want?
What's happening here?
What's wrong with
Back
you?
up.
Huh?
Well, who's gonna do that?
Yeah, who's
I mean,
going to run up and get in a cop's face while he's pointing a gun at you?
I mean, I guess that, there's crazy motherfuckers out there. Someone would, but, like, how often does that really happen? A cop shows up and has a gun pointed at you. You're just like, I'm just going to charge the cop. Nothing will happen to me.
Well, yeah, I mean...
I guess if you're, like, on PCP or something, or you're just fucking mentally deranged beyond all belief.
What are you doing, man? Hey!
Hey, he shouldn't approach me. He shouldn't approach me. He shouldn't approach me. He shouldn't approach me.
What happened in there?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You just shot him?
Hey, he rushed me.
Tell me why you shot.
Well, I've shot because he was within that zone. I felt there was an imminent threat. I didn't necessarily see him armed, but he came clearly to do some harm to the officer, to my person. It's hard to make that call. It shakes you up.
Again, an unarmed man was shot. Scenario 3, a call about a possible burglar walking down the street. Maupin gets him on the ground. He's not complying.
I need you to keep your hands up, sir.
For what?
Because I need to check that waistband.
Well, why? What are you doing?
He's like, why?
Why? What?
Because I don't know what you have under there.
Everybody, look at this guy. What are you doing?
No shots fired, but the suspect did have a hidden knife in his waistband.
So he deserved to have been shot.
Okay. When you get to construct the scenarios from start to finish, it's easy to be like, okay, yeah, shooting was justified in this instance. Like, I'm glad a shooting didn't happen in the third one because, that would have been very strange to shoot someone you already have partially subdued, unless they actually, you had a credible belief they did have a weapon. But if someone's like charging at you, or someone is like doing something, you know, immediately threatening to your person, of course you fucking have the right to use force against them.
That's why
Who would even deny that?
That's why the police really just need more training. There just needs to be more obstacles to becoming a cop, because people should go through intense training, because that's really the difference between a civilian with a gun and a cop with a gun. A cop should be well trained to really make the right call.
The problem is that most of these stories that have gotten the police into, you know, the mainstream media,
it's a well constructed narrative. That's what you're saying.
But I'm saying like the cases they're showing here are not even really representative of the things that have actually happened that have made people angry about police abuse.
No,
I mean this really bears very little resemblance to something like what happened to Eric Garner, for instance. You know, what did he do that was even vaguely similar to any of these things? Far from charging the police, he was walking away with his hands up like, just get away from me, please. Don't stop harassing me. And a cop comes from behind him, jumps on his back, wraps his fucking arm around his neck, and tears him to the ground.
I don't think they have the right to use the force they did, but I don't think he has the right necessarily just to walk away from the police. Just need to leave me alone if I want that, because I mean anyone could do that in any situation.
Sure, but I mean the thing is,
the use of force.
First of all, they had no business fucking bothering Eric Garner in the first place.
Yeah, it was a menial crime.
But second, I mean they weren't even charging him with anything, or had no plans to, as far as I know. But second of all, even so, him backing away, maybe you don't let him just leave, but there's no need to use force against someone who clearly doesn't even, you know, he's just trying to be like, just don't fuck with me. And you especially don't need to jump onto him from behind and put him in a chokehold, which is actually illegal for police to do.
Yeah, for
but
the
of
last
course,
20 years.
You know, of course, the illegality of it doesn't even matter because, you know, no one charges the cops. No one charges them.
Also, I mean, there's so many things, like cops carry tasers now. There's so many other things. Even if they do want to subdue someone, why do they need to basically gang tackle somebody and attack them? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I went through the scenarios too, without seeing what Maupin did. Do you have keys, or do you have anything to show me that?
Don't worry about it.
No, I need to talk to you. Come on out over here. Well, I'm dead. Maricopa County Sheriffs, get on the ground. Get on the ground. Both of you, get on the ground. Get on the ground.
For what?
Get back. Get back. Same results for both of us. Things happen very fast out here. I asked Maupin what his biggest takeaway from this exercise will be.
I didn't understand how important compliance was, but after going through this, yeah, my attitude has changed. This is all unfolding in 10 to 15 seconds. People need to comply with the orders of law enforcement officers.
See, there's the point.
We need to comply.
Yeah, just comply and you'll be fine.
I mean, like, from a survival strategy, you should comply, because if you don't, the police might shoot you. But should we just have a standard in America of the police should just be complied with because otherwise they might shoot you? I mean, that sounds like a threat to me.
It is.
It is a threat. It's an outright threat. It's like, oh,
the only time the police should be. I mean, I understand in the use of force scenarios, you can say, "Hey, we use a weapon," but 99.9% of the time, the cops should not even. That should not be the first thing that comes to mind. Like, "Hey, is this person some violent, dangerous criminal?" And treating everyone like they could potentially kill them. Because I mean, you could say that about anything. You know, I mean, you should treat the situation as you find it. I mean, if someone's acting belligerent and like these people in these scenarios, then sure, it's understandable that like, hey, would anyone pull a gun if someone was charging them? Sure. But I mean, how many scenarios does that really happen with the police? I'm sure it does happen. That's not to say that it just never happens. But
you know, this is another reason.
People are just like, hey,
this is yet another reason why we should have cameras on our cops, because then, you know, you can look at the video evidence and say, well, what was justified in this instance? Was this justified or not? But instead, it just seems like no matter what the cops do, no matter what the scenario actually is, no matter what the evidence actually shows,
a higher standard for police.
We just have this idea of like, well, the police were justified in what they did because they're the police, and we don't want to, you know, even the most mild criticism. I mean, you see it with the mayor of New York, the de Blasio or whatever.
Yeah.
The cops turning their backs on him and saying, you know, because he didn't suck their cocks enough. Really, he never said any substantive thing like "fuck the police" or something.
But I mean, I think it goes deeper than what you're saying, and I think that you're missing a point of the police in America. It's too easy to become a cop in America. It really is. And we've even seen a standard where, like, if you're too intelligent to be a cop. And that's really the problem with American law enforcement is now it's like you have a lot of people who are just jarheads, like, you know, they were in Afghanistan, they're in Iraq, and it's like, no, I got a gun, and these civilians just need to listen, and we're like military police now, and it's like that's not the right attitude. That's not the people we want. I mean, let's not say if you're in the military you're a bad person, but I mean, you can't have that same mentality was when you were in Afghanistan as you do on the streets of this country. I mean, because being in a war zone and being here and treating it like the same thing is a huge part of the problem.
Yeah.
Is, you know, like, let's have, you know, AR-15s and M16s and all these tanks and this shit. Like, that's basically treating the public like we're insurgents in our own country. There needs to be a higher standard for the police. There needs to be better training, and there does need to be accountability with the cameras. But it goes down to the fundamental way of looking at this. There needs to be civilian oversight, and there really needs to be a higher standard for what constitutes a police officer.
From what I understand, I didn't have a video for it, so I didn't use it tonight, but I guess those cops that killed that guy in Albuquerque are going to be charged, or at least some of them are.
Neat.
Finally.
They should be.
It's been almost a year. So we'll move on. We'll do one more news story, and then we'll do Q&A, and then we'll be...
pretty much good.
Yeah. So... here's something that I thought was pretty funny. A KKK billboard claiming that the KKK is not racist.
Good.
I'm sure they're not.
Passing through Harrison along Highway 65, this billboard might catch your eye. It features a white girl and the words, quote, "It's not racist to love your people," an ad for White Pride Radio.
And she's got a puppy,
Pride
too.
Radio.
That puppy's not white, though.
Why are you proud to be white? You had no choice in it.
Right.
I don't you know, I mean, like, look.
It's not an accomplishment to be the way you were born.
I mean, like, when it comes to, I mean, I don't even believe in, like, black pride or gay pride or any of that shit either. But at least when it comes to someone who's, like, a legitimately disadvantaged minority that you can demonstrably show is being treated unfairly, at least the pride there is kind of like, well, my pride is like a counter-response to society, basically giving me the message that I'm not as good as other people. So at least there's like some impetus to it. But for white people to be like, we're proud to be white, like what does that even mean? You know, you're already the prevailing fucking race and prevailing fucking culture of this country. So what, I mean, like, basically you're just saying that some incidental fact of my birth, I'm proud of it. Like, why? What is it? It doesn't even mean anything. It doesn't say anything about your character. It doesn't say anything about your intelligence. It doesn't say anything about, you know, your value as a human being. You're just, I'm white and I'm proud to be white. I'm proud that my skin has, what is it, less or more melanin? I always fucking forget that. Less melanin.
Yeah, and then where do you draw the line? When do people stop being white? Like, you know...
Yeah, like, I know white people, Scotty's friend Matt's a good example. He's white, but, I mean, if you look at his actual, like, skin tone...
Well, yeah, like Italians, they're darker than,
he's
like,
an Italian.
Irish.
He's part Italian.
He's part Italian, and he's, like, you know, kind of dark.
Yeah.
You know, but he's still considered
Greeks.
white. You know, I mean, there's just, I mean, like, and then so many people today are, like, mixed race and shit. I mean,
right.
Most black people have some white in them because, you know, well...
in the United States.
Yeah, in the United States, because, I mean, their ancestors were raped by, you know, their owners. But...
yeah.
Let's just forget about that.
It does seem to come off as pretty racist in a sense that whites are more superior.
I don't see it as being any kind of a racism sign.
And make people stop and look. I mean, you start wondering, well, what does this sign really mean?
The message is that white people have a right to be proud of who they are. Everybody else has a right to be proud, and I don't deny that.
This is the actual Klan member, by the way.
But being white has such little to do with who you actually are.
I mean...
can't you be proud of something else?
Right, like, be proud of your actual accomplishments in life.
Like being a father or being an engineer or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you're doing, yeah. The things you actually done in your life, not just something you happen to be.
Right.
Thomas Robb is the director of the Ku Klux Klan, which is sponsoring the bill.
Oh, I like how they sent a clearly non-white reporter to talk to him, too.
They should have, if they really wanted to have fun, they should have sent...
a black reporter.
No, not just a black reporter, but a burly black man with a very angry-looking face.
Billboard. He says the message is clear.
Yeah, Harrison is a nice, loving community.
Should have sent Booker T
Love
or something.
lives here.
We're coming for you.
In Harrison.
Every driver traveling northbound along this section of Highway 65 can see the billboard behind me.
and the sheer number of eyeballs it can potentially attract has some people concerned.
It's just discomforting.
Are they going to interview an actual black person for this?
There's probably none in that town.
I mean,
yeah, that's probably true. It's probably very few.
Still, find somebody.
I've never heard like white supremacists badmouth Asians. I'm sure they have, but I've never heard that.
Actually, a lot of times they say that, that a lot of white supremacists will say, well, Asians are good, or Asians are okay too. In fact, when my dad was going to school, and this was in the South in like the 1950s.
Wow, yeah.
Or early 60s.
They probably still had like segregated restrooms and shit.
Yeah, they did. And actually, there were some rich Asian kids that went to his school, and they actually made an announcement on the school PA system that
the Chinamen are coming.
No, they said that even though these kids are Asian, they're to be treated as if they're white.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so fucked up.
Here we go again.
The new ad comes just months after this controversial billboard that stirred nationwide controversy was removed. Mayor Jack Crockett says this time around, the message is more direct.
The reflection comes back on Harrison. And if we just keep quiet and let him do the speaking, it looks like we're all like that. And we're not. Harrison's not like that at all.
Crockett believes billboards like this have the potential to drive people away from Harrison.
Oh, you think? Certain types of people, right?
I would, you know...
KKK radio.
Driving down the road, if I see that, if I'm like, man, I'm really hungry, I'm going to stop in this town. I see that sign, I'm like, I think I'm going to stop in the next town.
It's a stupid billboard, but I mean... I don't, I believe they have freedom of speech. So,
sure, I have to agree with Scotty on that. I mean, I don't believe in censorship.
But billboards are not free speech zones. I mean, you have to like.
Oh,
hey.
But I mean, if the person who owns the billboard is willing to put that on there,
I could see the same argument used against atheists. Like, well, I mean, atheists are making this town look bad. So I mean. Now, I'm not equating us to the same thing as them, but it's like, that's a stupid billboard. But, I mean, if they pay for it and the person that owns it wants to let them use the space.
I like how they say they're not racist, though. It's
they clearly are. I mean, that's a joke.
To be white.
Hurting the local economy. And its association to the KKK only brings people back to the bygone days of racism in the town.
I would hope that more people would stand up and say...
Apparently they're not that bygone.
We're not all about this.
Okay.
I don't know if you can really call it bygone racism if the sign is like, proudly displayed. But whatever.
It's definitely not bygone.
It doesn't seem as bygone as you'd like it to be.
All right, so we're going to move into Q&A now.
The most boring and stupid part of the show.
Get this shit over
where we have
real
to
fast.
fucking listen to our moron fans ask their stupid fucking questions.
What do you guys say about 2 questions and call it the show? Sounds good.
2 or 3.
Maybe 3 if we're feeling generous.
Hey, Drunken Peasants. So I've been a fan for a while, and I just want your opinion on the situation that's been going on at my school for a while now.
We have no opinions.
One of my teachers, I've never had her, but a lot of my friends have her. She's a religion teacher at my school. I go to a Catholic school, not by choice, but it's convenient and I can't complain. But she likes to preach creationism in her religion classes to her students while we do have biology classes.
Right. So I went to Catholic school myself, and I went to religion classes. The thing is when you go to a religious school, they're going to teach you whatever they want in the religion classes. I mean, if this was a science class, I'd say there was something wrong with it. But it is a religion class.
I would.
They're going to teach you religion.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did you think that the biology instruction you got was accurate?
It was at my school, yes.
Okay, then. Well, I mean, it is kind of annoying, I would say. But I mean, unfortunately, some people like she said she had no choice. I'm sure you probably had no choice either.
Right.
You're going to the school.
Honestly, though, I think my school that I went to was better than the public schools I had as an option, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that really is the case.
Right. And
I mean, when I was a kid, I went to public schools in Washington and I went to public schools in Louisiana, and there was tremendous amount of difference.
Sure.
I feel like the public schools in Washington were really quite good and actually cared about facilitating a good education and providing a good environment for all the students and make sure that no one got left behind. Whereas in Louisiana, it's more like, here's some bullshit, swallow it or die.
Yeah, that's it.
So I would say that the caliber of public schools kind of depends on your geography and where you are. But I mean, I don't know. I don't. You know, I'm kind of torn because on one level, I don't even agree that children should receive a religious education because I view it as a form of brainwashing and trying to prevent people from coming to their own ideas. But here she is, you know, with a Hostel poster and a Life of Brian poster and wearing a Bad Religion shirt. So obviously, their propaganda is not.
Honestly, it did nothing to but solidify me becoming anti-religious. But then I see that like Jesus camp type shit. But
where
that's
it goes
not
Catholicism. No, it's not Catholicism.
Catholicism does have its fucked up aspects, but for the most part, Catholicism embraces science, and you know, we learned real science. We didn't learn creation science or anything like that. We learned the scientific method and evolution and all that sort of shit. We didn't learn like, you know, geocentrism or anything crazy like that. So
I don't know. But I mean, then you get to the schools where it's like the evangelicals. I mean, I've seen the textbooks that some of these kids have that basically the textbooks themselves try to argue against evolution, and it's really sad to see these kids being given this misinformation as though it were the facts and truths about the world.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of
unfortunately the reality we live in.
You know, I don't know that it has to be, but I haven't figured out a way to reconcile my belief in freedom of speech with my distaste for that.
If you take a religion class, you're going to learn the religion of the person teaching the class. And if you go to religious school, most of them are going to want you to learn to take religion classes.
I think the remedy for that is like, you know, we were having an argument earlier about, you know, choice and things like that, TJ. And I think one point you had is right, is you really have to educate people and get people to move away from that as a whole naturally.
Me learning about it is what pushed me away from it.
That's what I'm saying. The knowledge really is power in that sense, and that it's just gonna happen. You know, if you know our society does become less religious, it does seem that's the trend. It's just gonna happen slowly over time as people just realize like we don't really need this, and people just less and less following the tenets of these religious beliefs and just moving away from that, embracing science and rational thought and skepticism, and saying, hey, maybe I should question things more. Maybe I shouldn't just blindly accept what I'm told.
Right. Yeah. First, it drove me to because especially church history. That was really what turned me off, because I learned all the fucked up shit the Catholic Church did. That drove me to learn about other religions, and then that drove me to learn the commonalities between all the religions and that they're bullshit.
Sure. So you did like you're like your own comparative religion.
You went comparison shopping with religion.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna move on. Let's see.
Hello, TJ and Ben. My question is, how far can a TV program, news program, or publication go to offend or insult religion until it's too much?
Never.
Yeah, there's
no limit.
As long as you're not harming people,
animals, or specifically inciting violence, like, hey, go take a gun and kill.
Like, I don't think anyone should be able to get on TV and say like we should kill all the Muslims.
No, absolutely not.
That'd be ridiculous. But I think you know, as far as mocking religion, whatever the religion, not just religion, by the way, but any idea, including atheism, including anything, including whatever value system I have or hold. I mean, I think that, you know, if someone like G-Man were to get a TV show where I would never say, well, he shouldn't even be allowed on TV because he's just too regressive and backwards. You know, I would say that he's an idiot, and people who listen to him are idiots, and anyone who takes him seriously is an idiot.
Well, that's your
but
opinion,
I would never. Yeah, but I would never fucking advocate that he be censored. I would never advocate that anyone be censored.
Unlike religious people who have the exact opposite opinion of that. I mean, not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them, as we see with, you know, the Charlie Hebdo thing, and you know, and people, and just Christians who like, oh, you shouldn't be allowed to get on TV and insult religion, you know, and put this filth on TV. And, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of things where even just like not even taking so much the religious tone, just like we don't want naughty words on TV, we don't want, you know, the sexual content on TV or whatever.
Yeah, I believe in a
censorship.
free and open marketplace of ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my question.
No.
I was wondering if any of you had ever read Christopher Hitchens's book about the Clinton family.
No.
Because I didn't know this until I read the book, but apparently Monica Lewinsky was one of the best things that ever happened to Bill Clinton. Because before her, a multitude of other...
I would say not exactly. That caused him to be impeached.
Yeah.
He wasn't removed from office, but there was impeachment proceedings that happened against him.
You know, when you're reading Hitchens, you have to realize that Hitchens is inherently contrarian. So he's, you know, he kind of.
I think politically he was right wing in many ways too.
Well, sure. He was also left wing in many ways. But the thing about it is that Christopher Hitchens was a self-identified contrarian. So I mean, like, he was constantly advocating for things that, or positions that most people wouldn't agree with, or that you'd have a gut reaction of like, oh, that's not possibly true. But then, you know, the strength of it is he'll lay out a foundation for an argument that, you know, maybe that is the case. And when it comes to Lewinsky, I mean, I don't know. I've never read this book, so I don't really know. But I would say that maybe it kind of actually galvanized people into Clinton's corner because, you know, I don't think most people view, like, if he just had sex with Monica Lewinsky, if he just gotten the blowjob and then no big deal was made about it, then the public might have formed a lynch mob. But because there was this big Republican backlash against it, you actually saw Clinton's approval ratings go up during that time because so many people were trying to show solidarity with a president that they felt was being unfairly persecuted for something that was kind of ridiculous.
Well, I guess because of the mundane nature of their relationship, this took the focus off of dozens of other women who had actually been accusing Clinton of rape.
Right.
And that's part of the book. But,
okay.
You know, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I guess it's an interesting theory.
Bill Clinton and Bill Cosby. Anyone named Bill, just don't trust them. They'll rape you.
Don't trust the Bills.
Post no bills.
Drunken Peasants. It's Drunken Pheasants here again, or Towhead. And I apologize, TJ. I will undergo my toe transformation when it's not winter right now, and I need my hair to cover my ears, so you'll just have to hold on to that for now. But
I'll try.
I promise it'll come your way eventually.
Hurry up.
But anyway, 3 questions. 2 are connected, so
we're only going to do one of them.
We'll get to that. First question. Because I noticed you guys haven't been making many quick clips of your podcast, I thought I'd do that with my channel.
No.
And so I just thought I'd ask you for your permission to do that.
No.
No. We're going to start doing it again.
The only reason we haven't been doing it is because the entire podcast has been going up on my channel lately. Otherwise, we would just post clips on my channel.
So that is going to return, so no worries on that.
So once our podcast returns to its rightful home of our original channel, which should happen this Wednesday, God willing and the creek don't rise, then we would return to our previous method of just releasing occasional Drunken Peasants clips on my channel and then putting the actual full shows here. So, and also, even if we were looking for a channel to host our other clips, we would just start our own. We wouldn't use yours.
Yeah.
Nothing against you, just
not at all.
It's brand confusion is what happens at that point.
One more question, and then we're going to call it a night.
Ben's tired of this.
Hello,
Sexy pose.
TJ, Ben,
TJ.
Scotty, you piece of shit.
You piece of shit.
Fuck you, bitch.
So my question for you is, what would you do in a post-apocalyptic...
What?
There's a big chunk of fucking phlegm in his mouth there.
Scenario.
There's probably like some chicken left over from
Thank you
dinner.
for listening, and goodbye.
Hold on. What was this question?
Let's do a different question. That one sucked.
Okay.
I didn't even really hear it.
Hello, DP. I was wondering what your thoughts are on the concept of cryptids, as in possibly fictional creatures like the Mothman, Bigfoot, the Jersey Devil, Loch Ness Monster, etc., and which one is your favorite, if any? I'd smoke pan, but I'm looking for a job. Shit.
Too bad.
Spatulon.
Fucking
Spatula
jobs.
God.
Yeah, Spatulon sounds good to me.
I went to the town where the Mothman shit happened. It's like
the bridge collapsed.
Yeah, Point Pleasant, West Virginia. It's still there. The bridge that crosses the Ohio River. It's not too far from here.
Did you see the Mothman?
They have a big statue of him, and they have a festival every year too there. So it's kind of a big deal.
But did you see the actual Mothman?
No.
Well, what a waste of time.
He doesn't exist, so...
How the fuck do you know, Scotty? You can't disprove a negative.
I was there with the
Can
band
you
at the
disprove the
time.
Mothman, Scotty?
No. Can you?
Well, then how can you possibly say that?
Can you disprove there's not trolls living in your closet, TJ?
No, I can. That's why I have to accept them as a distinct possibility.
Well, that's wonderful then.
All right, are we done?
Let's do one more question, because that was kind of a short one.
Yeah, that was pretty short.
I'd like to end on
one more.
I'd like to try to end on a more
One more
substantive
question. One more.
Hi guys, my question to you is:
How are you?
Have any of you ever
Lack
played
discipline.
Dungeons and Dragons before? And if you have, what race and class did you play as? My other question.
Let's see what the other question is.
Well, I wanted to answer them one at a time.
All right. Well, no. I've played it very, very briefly as a kid. Like maybe a handful
Me
of
and
times.
TJ played a couple times. We just kind of lost interest in it.
It wasn't that interesting.
No, it wasn't really.
Yes, I used to play it all the time.
I don't need a formalized structure for my imagination to exist within.
Well, it's a game.
Yeah.
What did you play as, man?
That is bullshit.
I played. I would usually play like as a halfling.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day, I also played like half orc characters.
I don't remember. I think I was just a human.
That's so boring. God, man. No wonder you didn't have any fun.
Yeah. Humans are more interesting to me than mythical creatures. You know, we're the most... I always find it funny, like, if you watch a science fiction movie where it's like, there's some monstrous alien species coming to devour the Earth. I'm like, no, bullshit. It would be the humans. You know, it would be some other peaceful civilization just getting along in harmony, and then the humans show up and kill everyone and take
I've always
over.
kind of wanted to make a movie like that, where like the humans were actually the villains, because it seems more realistic.
Well,
to me as
in the sci-fi novel that I've wanted to write for 10 years, but probably never will, the humans are kind of the more like the villainous evil race in the galaxy.
I can honestly see that.
Which I think is more
if
accurate.
you have not played it before, would you be willing to try playing it? And if so,
So
what race or class do you think that you would choose to play as?
Which one has the biggest dick?
Probably half orc.
Like a half orc? Why not a full orc? You don't think they have?
You can't play as a full orc. Well, I mean, I guess you could because the rules aren't that concrete.
I would play as a dragon.
Nah.
You'd be a dragon.
I'm a dragon.
I'd just be like a wussy fucking like scrawny nerd guy.
TJ would just be some like fat merchant that's sat around like trying to overcharge you.
There are
That'd be
characters.
sweet.
There are characters that are like skinny and wussy, and they usually have like magical powers.
No, fuck that. No magical powers or anything. I'm just a total wuss. I go in the dungeon, I get killed instantly, the game is over.
Sounds like real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a realistic approach to Dungeons and Dragons. Oh shit, a dragon! Oh, I'm dead!
That'd be me killing TJ.
All right, we're done. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
We love you all.
Go Ohio State.
Except for you,
Yeah.
Bill. You suck.
I actually think someone said that on Facebook. Like, this is the national championship
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
You're right. So
Yeah, you're right. We're going to watch
the game soon.
So fuck y'all.
Peace the fuck out. Oh,
I want Ohio State to win, but I think
stole your fucking
I think
shit,
the Ducks
DJ.
are going to win. Though.
Fuck you.
I do.
Fucking
I
fat
hate
piece of
you.
shit.
God, man.
You know what sucks, man? If he's right, then he's gonna be like, I
I
fucking
was
had a
right.
feeling.
I'm
I had
the
a
greatest
feeling."
sports analyst ever.
But you know
Well, you
what,
know
man?
what, though?
He's been wrong on every NFL game.
No,
thus
no,
far.
no, no. No, you're wrong about that. Every team.
Which fucking one were you right
no,
on?
No, every team I've rooted for has lost. Every team I thought was going to win won, except for I thought Carolina was going to do a massive upset against
Ah,
the
you're an
Seahawks.
idiot. You're
which
an
I-
idiot.
I was wrong
Get the
about
fuck,
that.
Get the fuck out of here.
But every other game, I did predict the outcome.
all our non-sports liking fans are like,
Yeah,
they like
crap.
sports.
Oh yeah.
Stop talking about
The
sports.
European fans are like hand egg.
Handag. They're going to go watch a game of Handag.
Oh, as you call it, football.
Football is the real football. Soccer sucks dick. The end.
Sayonara, suckers.